Yo, what's up, computer giraffics? We out here stealing? Yes, sir. I actually, I came across a quest mod. I can't remember the exact name. The Crown Heist, I think it's called? Yeah, the Crown Heist. And it's kind of like a, there's a term for this, it's like the capstone quest, I think it's what they called it, for the Thieves Guild. And I thought it sounded really cool. You actually go out and you try to steal Queen Berenzia's crown. So it actually has you traveling to Wayrest into the castle. And yeah, it's like the final quest for the actual Thieves Guild, which I thought sounded really exciting and cool. Yo, what's up, Yuval? Good to see you. So I thought that'd be really fun to try, actually. I don't know how... I don't know if a lot of people know about this sort of capstone quest mod for the Thieves Guild, but it looks really cool. Alzuvir, how's it going? Filthy Thief? I've never done a stealth playthrough. Yeah, I did one in the past, actually, even on the channel as well. But I ended up dropping it after like 4 episodes, maybe. Yeah, so we're kind of revisiting it, and it's actually kind of the same character. I just renamed her. Or I guess I made a new one, but kept the same name. Yo, what's up, Vox? I've seen it on XS, but I'm not a filthy thief. Gotcha. Yeah, this playthrough's gonna be cool. We got some interesting playthrough goals for this one. We have a steal list, and I'm starting the game. I'm only level 2. I guess once we actually get into it, I'll wait a little bit longer for some more people to come in, and then I'll go over the build and the playthrough goals. But yeah, we got a steal list for this playthrough. The goal is to get all 10 items, and part of that is going to be going through the entire Thieves Guild. I have the Thieves Guild Overhaul mod as well, so that'll be cool. It looks really nice. I can't think of who actually did the Thieves Guild Overhaul mod right now, off the top of my head. But yeah, it's really nice looking. I remember from the last attempt that I did. Hey, sorry it's out of nowhere, but yesterday you mentioned considering making a video about Daggerfall music. I'm really curious about that. What exactly you had in mind? Oh, no worry. No need to apologize. You're good. Yeah, I was thinking about just going over just some of my favorites. I was thinking like maybe just doing a YouTube short, not like a full video on it. And maybe I would choose like my top 5 favorite songs, because I feel like a lot of people don't know that Daggerfall's music is really, really good. And a video like that might help get some people into the game. Especially the nighttime themes. I feel like the snow theme is really good. The nighttime theme is insanely good and really atmospheric. And Elder Scrolls music in general is always kind of like a big, I guess, positive point for the series. It's got great music in general. But I just kind of feel like people don't know that much about Daggerfall's themes. And if they do, I don't really hear about it. So I kind of want to show it off. But I don't know. I would want to add more to the video than just showing 5 songs. So I'd have to have like a better idea about what I'm doing with it. If I just played like 20 seconds of 5 songs, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe a little too low effort. I wouldn't want to just do that. But yeah, I was thinking something like that, Yuval. Just sort of as a way to get the music out there a little bit. And maybe spark some conversation about people's favorite themes and all that. Main theme solos, main theme of Daggerfall, best be number 1. Actually, main theme of Daggerfall is 0 because it's solos. I really like the nighttime theme. I can't think of the name though right now. And I also really like one of the snow themes. Yeah, I use that nighttime theme in a bunch of my shorts, actually. You probably picked up on it. I also really like the, like, castle or, I guess it is called the castle themes, right? But they don't always play in castles. They also just sometimes play in, like, the small town, whatever the center building is. It's not always a castle. Use a thief playthrough, use some clips from this series to get people attached. Yeah, something like that could be cool. Yeah, it's kind of nice to have the live stream. I could always take some clips from it with my shorts and stuff like that, which is nice. But yeah, I thought someone mentioned like a few streams ago that I should do a permadeath playthrough for the live streams. And at first I was thinking like, I don't know if that would be fun because I wouldn't be able to do any of like the cool editing that I sometimes do. And I wouldn't be able to do like the recap editing for like the next episode or something. But if I kept it separate like this, then I think it is kind of cool. Like this playthrough is just going to be for the live streams. It'll be completely separate from the Druid, of course, which won't have like a live stream episode. And speaking of which, this is like my favorite tavern. I was mentioning about having NPCs that don't always look at you. This guy over here and this guy, I like how they're not just staring at you. Kind of builds a nicer vibe. And these two are pretty cool looking NPCs here. They look like they're out of some Dragonlance novel or something. They just look really unique. Not just do a live stream? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And once you finish this, you shall do a hand-to-hand immune to everything. Our hand-to-hand build yesterday for the Abyss dungeon was pretty strong as well, I feel like. Yeah, so we got a couple cool mods for this playthrough that are going to help with our urban sort of like stealth playthrough where we're really focusing on building up our wealth slowly over time in towns. What mod you use for these NPCs? These NPCs are actually, I think they're just built into Beautiful Cities of Daggerfall, but it's this specific tavern layout, which I don't see often, to be honest. But I've never seen this guy anywhere else, and I've never seen these two anywhere else. So I think it is just built into Beautiful Cities of Daggerfall. But yeah, this is a very pretty tavern. Well stocked. You got the cups here. And also, check out this, oh, we're about to run out of stamina. Let's buy a room for the night here. And we'll go till we're healed. We're really low level, so we might start leveling up quickly here. I think we're only level 2. Yeah, I think we're level 2 here. Oh yeah, I got this mod here called Kleptomaniac, I think it's called. And it basically lets you steal anything. So I could look at anything that is, I think you do with the, I forgot which button does it. Yeah, telling me I see a wooden cup here. Oh, whoops. All right, I gotta be careful then. I just stole a wooden cup. Let me go out here and show you. Hey, what's up, Van Stolen? Oh boy, never caught a Daggerfall playthrough? Yeah, we're going for a nice little thief permadeath run here. It's just starting, and once a couple more people come in, I'm going to talk about the playthrough goals and the build and some of the new mods. Check out this new Jack Be Nimble mod. This will let us do a lot of like urban platforming as we try to escape guards and stuff. You can kind of climb over any surface here, and you get different jump arcs depending on what you're doing and your momentum. If you're sprinting, it's more of a further but less high jump. If you're crouching, you can get a really high jump here. And then if you reach any of the ledges, you can pull yourself up, actually. It's really cool. So even if I just come to this ledge, you can kind of lift yourself up over the ledges. It's a really, really nice mod for these like thief urban escapes when you want to be in like stealthy and running around. Hand-to-hand doesn't have material requirements for anything aside from long-bladed magic that can become absolutely overpowered from the Spellmaker. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hand-to-hand is kind of gets around all the material issues with certain enemies. Hand-to-hand is second or third strongest thing in this game. Yeah, for sure. Probably steal mode. Yep, yeah. Nice and Thief do not go together. Elder Scrolls always needed a parkour mod like that. Yeah, for sure. And this one's really clean, actually. What I really like about it is it doesn't remove your original jump. So I can still do all these normal jumps that I'm doing here. And then this one, it borrows from Elder Scrolls Battlespire, if you guys are familiar with how that one works. But yeah, once the guards get on me, because we will fail a lot of our stealth stuff, I have a complete stealth overhaul mod called Skullduggery by Rouser, and I really, really recommend that one if you guys like stealth stuff. Yeah, the only thing you gotta be careful with the Jack Be Nimble is that when you're sprinting up a surface like this, your character will try to grab it. So you can kind of hear she's grabbing the stairs there. So just when you go up like stairs and stuff like that, just don't sprint and you'll be fine. Have you tried the Dagger Talk mod? It's awesome. I've heard about it. I actually haven't tried it. I think it's on my tracking list, Glenn. By the way, how's it going, Glenn? Yeah, I think it's on my tracking list. I can't think about what it does off the top of my head right now. You guys heard about the Elder Scrolls 6? A bunch of rumors that I'll be back in Sentinel. Yeah, that's what I heard. That seems to fit the little cryptic code that she wrote about it. Kind of cool to be back in Sentinel. Would be cool to have like the Alakir Desert in modern looking graphics like that. Yeah, this Kleptomaniac mod, though, I kind of want to... Let me use my torch here. There's a way to do it without immediately stealing. I gotta remember how to do this real quick. A little testing. Yeah, okay, cool. So just in the grab mode, any item that looks like it has like any sort of reasonable model that could be picked up, which is kind of basically like anything that's part of the decorator mod will count as like something you can kind of look at and consider picking up. So if it's on a shelf or out in the open, like this hat here, I can inspect it. You see a hat. This is the guy who's next to it. But I could try to steal the item. So it's pretty cool, this one. This will help us with our steal list for the playthrough. I've used the Dagger Talk mod. I love the voices. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know it was also voice acted like that. Yeah, I'm curious. I'll check that out after this. I know it's been on my tracking list for like a very long time. And I'm not sure why I haven't tried it out yet. Yeah, I might have tried it out, but I don't know. It's been a while. But I probably haven't. Yes, I won't be playing, however. I'm going to wait until there's a mod to optimize because Bethesda does not optimize. Yeah, that's a fair thing to do. Give it a wait. I'm using a AMD Radeon RX 5500 XT with 8 GB of RAM, so I doubt it'll be able to play Sentinel without being optimized. Gotcha. Yeah, my laptop's not too great either, honestly. Dagger Talk gives enemies voice lines. That's sick. Is it just for enemies? Like enemies that actually come up in the CM group? Like bandits and mages and all that kind of stuff? Looks like a new mod just came out for survival. Yeah, I was checking it out. The Lone Road, I think it's called, right? It's kind of cool to have some variety, finally, for survival mod options. For a long time, our only option was climate and calories. I plan to check out the Lone Road. I did install it. Oh, the Long Road. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I did install it, and I just like very briefly took a look at it. But yeah, I think I want to add that one to the next mod showcase video for August. If you find a dragon egg, maybe you can try and steal it. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that would be sick, actually, Yuval. If I find one, there's a small chance, Yuval, in the alchemist shops, actually. If it's the highest quality alchemist shop and a very, very low percentage, they actually can sell a dragon egg, which means if I find one there, I could actually try to steal it, which would be crazy. I like the Lone Road. The long road, yeah. Saving needs a bed. Yeah, I saw that. Saving needs a bed. It's kind of interesting. And you can't fast travel, I think. It's completely restricted in that mode. I think he might have added a toggle, though, because someone was talking about it in the comments section of the Nexus mod page. Longer loan, I don't know, but I love it. Yeah, it's really nice to have a good new survival mod option, because Climate and Calories is great. It's been around for a long time, but there's a lot of aspects of it that I know some people don't love, and it's not customizable at all. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's good to have some choices there. It's going to be wild to see how BGS is going to try to optimize the Elder Scrolls 6, because there's no way that 98% of people are going to be able to afford a PC upgrade or a new console when it comes out. Yeah, I am very curious. At least we know the modding scene will be on it. Like day one, the talented mod authors will be immediately fixing their bugs, I'm sure, as they always do. How can you tell where are the highest quality shops? How many highest quality shops are there in the Iliac Bay? So the way you can tell, I can rest until the next day to show you actually real quick. Let's do that. What time is it in game? All right, let's rest until like 12 here. Bug God Studios. Does the game volume sound okay for you guys? It's kind of loud in my headphones. Let me turn this down. Yeah, so when you head over to any shop and you click on it, you'll get a little description here. Sturdy shelves cobbled together out of scrap lumber hold the shop wares. The items are sound and functional, but little more than that. This is telling you that it's not a very high quality shop. Somewhere in the middle, this one. So every time you click on a door for any sort of store, this one here, for example, will tell me, I got the same description here. The items are sound and functional, but little more than that. So these ones are not high quality. Let's see if we can actually find a higher quality one here. This one's also just normal. But yeah, basically it's this description here. Yeah, so the shop is better appointed than many. Its wares lie neatly on the shelves. Although not fit for a king, all are skillfully crafted. So this is high quality, but not the highest quality. But yeah, the descriptions on the entry will let you know the quality of the shop. Rusty or good prices and bad equipment, you can scam them. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes a low quality shop is actually good. You go to the quality, their mercantile is superior, and you'll get robbed. Yeah, exactly. Todd Howard, we did optimize Starfield, so you're going to have to probably upgrade your PC to play it. Yeah. Oh, this is one of the things on my steal list. So that's kind of cool. If I go to my grab button here, we can see we have a cup of holy water. I'm going to come back at night and try and grab this at some point, but in the beginning of this playthrough, we are actually just going to try and build up our core thieving skills. So we got stealth at 44, short blade at 36, and pickpocket actually as my primary skill as 36. And there's a couple reasons I chose pickpocket. And that's because with the thief overhaul mod I got here, taking anything off the shelf actually checks your pickpocket skill. So when I break in and enter at night and I'm going through the shops, it's actually going to check my pickpocket skill to see if I can take something off the shelf. And if I fail, it has a chance to call the guards. So what's really cool about this new, well, I guess it's not new, but this stealth mod that I'm using called SquidKamer is that in the vanilla version of Daggerfall, when you break into a shop, let's say this was late at night and I come in here and I successfully break in. Once you break in, you can steal everything off the shelf. You could just clear out an entire shop without worrying about anyone coming to get you. With this SquidKamer mod, every time you're moving during a break-in, you're constantly checking your stealth. So the longer you stay, the riskier it gets, right? And every time you try to take something off the shelf, and that's true also in the daytime here, but even when I break in, it's going to check my pickpocket skill. And if I fail, it's kind of like you're making too much noise. And part of the calculation works on the item's weight. So the higher the weight, the harder it is to pickpocket or take something off the shelves and steal it. But because it's constantly checking your stealth, you're not going to be able just to build up a crazy amount of wealth in one night. Role-playing as a thief with this mod means being consistently successful, slowly accruing wealth every night by taking 1 or 2 items and then safely escaping, rather than just clearing out an entire store in one night and then just being done and having, you know, a crazy amount of wealth. So I really like how it kind of helps facilitate like a proper thief role-playing concept. And let's check out some of the build here. You didn't know that? I'm not a filthy thief. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. The vanilla version's a little bit too forgiving, in my opinion. But in the major skill, we got lockpicking, streetwise climbing. So climbing's really good for us. It'll help us make our escapes from guards without having to pay any fines or get caught. Archery is a minor skill. We have some cool archery mods here as well I could show you. I'm starting off with a couple different options like explosive arrow and fire arrow. And this is in the rare case that we have to actually fight. This character is really not going to want to fight too much. Do guards spawn in the store to arrest you at night if you do get caught? Yay, what's up, Void Ghost? Yeah, so the way it works is you'll first get a warning. It's sort of like a realization that you made a lot of sound and that guards are coming. So you have a very short amount of time to try and escape the building. You're usually not going to be successful. So if your stealth fails and you know the guards are on their way, then they will spawn in the shop. And yeah, either fight you to the death or try to arrest you. This mod also adds a chance to trigger a bribe. I think it's based on your streetwise skill. You have a chance to try and bribe them. It doesn't always happen, though, if you fail to check. But yeah, your chance to get caught is going to be based on every few seconds your stealth check goes into effect during a break and enter. And what's cool about this is it also builds up my stealth skill. So in the beginning, with an only having like a 44 stealth skill, I don't want to try and go into shops and just steal everything right away. I might not even steal anything depending on how far away the actual counters are. So some shops you go into, and it's kind of cool to scope out the type of shops you want to see or you want to steal from. Like if I was breaking into this at night, this shelf is pretty close. With a low stealth skill, I could go for this, you know? You go into crouch plus stealth, which actually increases your stealth. So if I'm just stealthing, but then I also crouch as well, that's going to help my stealth skill as well, the crouching, even though you move a little slower, of course. But because this is so close at night and the exit's there, this could be a good contender for scoping out some good options for where to steal from. But in the beginning, we don't want to go too crazy on that because we want to build this stuff up. Pickpocketing's the same way. Pickpocketing's kind of risky. If I try to pickpocket a moving NPC and I get caught, the guards will come for me immediately. They'll report me. But if I find a pre-rendered NPC like this guy and I pickpocket him, it actually won't send the guards on me, but it will lower my regional reputation. And once my regional reputation gets low enough, I could just be arrested for criminal conspiracy without actually committing a crime. So it's kind of interesting. Well, I'm out. See ya. I'm going to work. All good. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. See you next time. But yeah, so the pre-renders are pretty good for trying to get my pickpocketing up, and so is trying to steal from stores. Other than that, it's kind of cool that just by moving around with our running and jumping and our climbing, we can kind of build up some other important skills for us. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because in this town, for this playthrough, I'm starting off with a player home. And there's a couple of reasons I want a player home to start out with. First of all, it's like a decent base of operations before we get into the Thieves Guild. And secondly, because this is going to be where we put our trophy list. The main goal of this playthrough is to... where's my house here? Okay, to the west. The main goal of this playthrough is to complete a steal list. And the last item on the steal list is the most rare and valuable. It's Berenzia's crown. And she's a queen in Wayrest. And the only way to get that quest is to get to the end of the Thieves Guild. So this playthrough will have to go through the entire Thieves Guild ranks. But we'll do that later once we actually build up our skills well. That's really cool. I think it would play really well with Doom Feud or Power Struggles. Yeah, I think so too. Doom Feud especially, I think, is really good. The only reason I didn't grab it this time was because this character specifically is going to do very little combat. And I actually gave her a phobia to humanoids. Not that she's actually afraid of people, it's just that she's afraid of fighting people is kind of the vibe I'm going with. We really want to lean into the thievery, and we don't really see ourselves as a rogue, and we don't see ourselves as an assassin. We're strictly a thief here. We're not trying to kill people, and we're not trying to fight unless we have to. So that's why we got expertise in short blade and missile weapon only, and we'll just use one dagger and an archery stuff if we need it, but we hopefully shouldn't need it. We also got some resistance to disease and poison. I chose that because of my wood elf race. Low tolerance to fire is just something I kind of randomly put. We're a completely no magic build, so we can't cast any magic. We're forbidden from using it in daylight and forbidden from using it in darkness, so 0 magic on this character, which I think is more fun. I kind of want to rely on tools. Once we get into the Thieves Guild, we'll be able to buy a couple different type of tools like a grapple hook, a lockpick to help the lockpicking skill, a couple other things. I think one of them's like a badge that will help me with my streetwise things, kind of intimidate people. We're forbidden from chain and plate, though this character is likely not going to wear much armor, just clothing. Inability to regen spell points, because we might as well grab this since we can't cast spells anyway. And then acute hearing, athleticism, and adrenaline rush. We want better jumps and all that kind of stuff, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. And what's nice about this mod as well with Skullduggery is that it also rebalances how a lot of the skills work. So in vanilla, something like your stealth skill or your pickpocket is really mostly determined by your level. Your level has a big scaling effect on these things, but with the Skullduggery mod, it's actually a couple different factors instead. So instead of the level thing, the most important is the skill itself. The higher the skill, the better it is for the equation with this modded version. So skill is the most important part of it, which I think is a lot better, makes a lot more sense. But in the case of things like lockpicking, for example, lockpicking also cares about your agility, your speed, your luck, and your intelligence. So all these different attributes contribute to how successful your lockpicking is or how successful your stealth is. You know, stealth might just be agility and speed. I forgot exactly which attributes for everything, but pickpocket might be speed, luck, and agility, but also the skill itself is the most important factor, which I like a lot more than just level being the most important factor, personally. So I like that a lot about it. It also gives guards a further range to capture you. But yeah, so this is my player home here, and we got a really humble, small place here. And I chose a place that had one extra room here on the side, and this is going to be the trophy room. We're going to use the decorator mod here at some point to place every single item that we've stolen from our steal list. And actually on OBS I have, let's see if this works correctly here. Maybe you guys can see it on screen now. This is the steal list. We're going to want 1 amber, 1 diamond, emerald, jade, pearl, ruby, sapphire, turquoise, malachite, a holy water icon, gold goblet, a jeweled silver goblet, and then Berenzia's crown. This is the final jewel of the playthrough here. The final heist. And we can only get the quest to get Berenzia's crown at the very end of the Thieves Guild quest lines. Yeah, so that's the goal of the playthrough. We got the steal list here. And some of these items will be pretty easy to get early on, but this will help give us like a way to slowly build up our, stealth skills, our thief skills, our pickpocketing, our lockpicking, all that kind of stuff. And then by the time we get to higher level and we have a better skill in those things, we should be prepared to break into the Wayrest Castle and actually get Berenzia's crown. And it'll be cool too. As we go through the Thieves Guild, we will slowly have like other options and other tools available to us. Some of those tools are things like access to a trainer, and the trainer could maybe do things like help us with specifically with like pickpocketing, because this is kind of a hard skill to level up. But yeah, that is the overview mostly. I also have it set right now so that anytime I want to place an item from the decorator mod, each item costs me 50 gold. So it's kind of like I'm paying for my decorations here. So right now I think we're starting out with... Oh yeah, I got way too much gold from setting up the playthrough. Let me remove some of that because we want to set this playthrough up, but not that heavy. So we're going to drop, let's say, we'll drop 15,000. So now we got 3K to start out with. It cost me like 50 gold, I think, for each item that I buy with Decorator mod. Yeah, but a lot of this is going to be urban stealth stuff. And it's also really fun when I'm just hanging out with you guys and chatting. I can slowly build up things like my jump skill. Because this mod is so much fun. It really allows you to, like, do a lot of parkour stuff. And, yeah. It's surprising how far you can actually go. Because you'll clamber onto things like that, as you can see. And actually, it's kind of like a high-skill execution mod, weirdly enough. Because there's a lot of different like angles you can get here depending on your momentum and what you're doing. Imagine a druid thief like creeping through a store at night in a raft form. Yeah, that actually would be really cool. The what's it called? The raft form is like extremely stealthy, really, really hard to catch for NPCs. It also highlights gold. What's up, Nassar? Oh my god, it's a really cool mod. Battle Spire style. Yes, that's exactly what it's based off of. It's really cool. And there's actually a lot of like intelligent design here, I gotta say, or creative design, I should say. First of all, the clambering up of sides to lift yourself up is really fun. But as you can see, as you hold it out, you have a certain arc here. But if I'm running, you can see that arc gets lower and more horizontal. And if I'm crouching, it actually gets higher, but less horizontal. So your speed and momentum actually matters for how it works. And yeah, it also brings up your jump skill. It takes into effect your jump skill. Look how cool this is. So if any guards get on me, yeah, and even when I miss, you can see that I can kind of clamber on and pull myself up over these ledges. But yeah, this one's kind of higher, so maybe we would crouch. But yeah, if any guards start chasing me, if I get caught, which I will get caught a lot in this playthrough, we'll have to go to different towns and stuff. Yeah, then we actually have a cool way to parkour and try to escape them without getting caught. Takes up a decent amount of stamina as well. And what I also really like about it is it doesn't actually replace your normal jump, which is really, really cool. I can still just do my normal jump here without it. I can set my own keybind. I use X for this. That helps me kind of be able to still press my shift and everything else. But yeah, it works amazingly. Was there a grappling hook mod? There is a grappling hook mod. That's from... it's an addition from Penwick Papers. So I do have Penwick Papers as well. It adds a couple different options, actually. And one of them is a grappling hook. One of them is some kind of travel book. I forgot what it's called, though. It lets you... It kind of works like the recall spell, basically, without any magic. But yeah, the grapple hook, I have to wait to grab that until I get into the Thieves Guild. So I forgot what rank of the Thieves Guild. I think it might be 4. Like rank 4 or 5. Once I'm at that, I can buy all the Thieves Guild tools. One of them's like a badge that helps you... helps your streetwise skill. One of them is some kind of lock-picking tool that increases it by 20%. I think there was something else to help you with your pickpocket as well, which is kind of cool. All right. So how we want to kind of start this out is we want to slowly just work on our lockpicking. That's the first step. So we'll stay in stealth at night here. And... oh, I forgot I had this on. So the little mini game here will only activate when I fail. So my skill check will go through on a house. And if I fail the actual lockpick, then the mini game comes up as a second chance. And if I fail to lockpick a door, I'm not going to open it by breaking it down. That's part of the playthrough rules. But yeah, you see the lock clicks open. And I'm just going to leave, actually. We don't want to push it too hard in the beginning. Especially in this city. Since this is the city that we own our house in, we're not going to do our major, like, thieving stuff here. But at night, this is a good chance for us just to build up slowly our lockpicking. I don't know how to even play this game. It's so fast. Oh my god, that's so... Okay, I got it. Wow, that's so fast. I actually like how that is. Oh no, the Dance Dance Revolution locks. Yeah. How's it going, Fake Queen? And then you'll get messages like this from Skullduggery. Like you hear footsteps of someone awake in the house. You'll see a couple different contextual stuff pop up. If you're about to be caught because your stealth is failing, you might get a message that says like, someone's calling for the guards, or you think guards' footsteps are approaching, you know, stuff like that. But you want to lay low, slowly build up our lock picking, which we have as a major skill here, and it's pretty low starting out. Yeah, we will probably try to steal a few things in some shops tonight as well. This is so funny. This is so fast. All right, don't judge me, guys. I'll get better at this slowly. That is so fast. But it's kind of cool. So, like, the thing is, too, this only triggers if I fail. And I really, really like that system. Because it's cool to have a mini game, but I kind of like when my actual skill checks matter more. So if I succeed, I just immediately get to break in. But if I fail, then I get this mini game. I think that's really cool. I don't much like the speed for the lockpicking. I know it's because you have low skill, but how do you train it if you can't even succeed? Yeah, so the way it works, Van, is this will only come up if I fail anyway. And even on a fail, I'll still get points towards the skill up. But if I succeed, I completely bypass the minigame, and then you still get skill up anyway. What's up, Saintly Valor? How's it going? You think you'll dungeon dive? Can you use some enchanted equipment? Yeah, I think maybe at some point. I guess it depends. I think the Thieves Guild quests, I don't think there's a single one that... Yeah, my skill's really low, so this will be fast to start out with. But I don't think there's a single Thieves Guild quest that actually sends you to dungeons. I could be wrong about that. Maybe someone else knows that a little better than me. Wow, I'm getting confused about which one's up and which one's down here. All right, let me try and... This is so funny. Yeah, this will slow down as my skill gets up as well. And I absolutely need that, as you guys can see. Oh, I should have been able to get that one. For some reason, the down button makes my mind think it should be up. All right, let me try and wait until I see a faster... All right, this is impossible. But yeah, so that's only going to trigger if I actually fail. So that's okay for us. We'll keep going on some of these. So we failed this one again, right? Hey, we got one finally. Nice. And as we, get these, we're going to actually leave. If you fail to open one of them and you get out of the interface, you can't try again. And as I mentioned before, one of the restrictions is that we're not going to break down any doors. Not too bad, my guy. Just made it in time to chill and watch. Nice. It's so fun to watch this video. Yeah. Yeah, this is hilariously fast. Oh, that was a good one by me. All right, I'm getting better slowly. But yeah, if we get caught, we're kind of screwed in this region. And this is where our player home is. So what we might do, actually, Since we don't want to really screw up where our house is, we can either go west or north and try to steal from some other location here. I don't actually have a horse yet. Should I try to steal a horse from a general goods store? I think we should go for it. Do you have a better feeling about this permadeath run? As far as like surviving? Or just like the role-playing vibe, maybe? I think this one shouldn't be too challenging. Yeah, steal a horse. Okay, let's go for it. Yeah. I think this one shouldn't be too challenging. It's not going to be as hard as a pirate playthrough. Partly because the real goal of this playthrough is to successfully get this steal list here. I don't know if you guys can... Let me check my actual video here, actually, and see if you guys can actually see this. Yeah, I think you guys can see the steal list, right? So the steal list here is kind of our goal. And a lot of these aren't too hard to find. We do got to be careful, especially grabbing stuff like gold goblets and jeweled silver goblets. We might have to go into castles for those. But things like icons, holy water, and a lot of the gems, these won't be too bad. You can see it? Okay, nice. And then we'll display them all in our player home, because every single item on this list actually has a decorator item that represents it, which is really cool. So we can actually make this like display desk in our player home for all of the trophies that we've stolen. And then eventually, Berenzia's crown will be the final thing we do in this playthrough. And Berenzia's crown on the bottom right there is going to be like it's something we can't just immediately grab. We have to get the quests from the Thieves Guild, and it's a capstone quest, so it's only at the highest rank. So it's going to take some time. But yeah, okay, let's go for a horse. Have you ever done a mod review vid? For a quest mod, kind of, actually. I did talk a little bit about... This is a long time ago, though. It's one of my older videos, so it's really not a great quality video. But yeah, I think I kind of reviewed, and it wasn't really as much a review, I was just kind of showcasing it, but I did review it a little bit. The journalism quest pack mod, which was one of my first quest pack mods. I thought it was pretty good, actually. It has you become a reporter for a newspaper, and then you're set to investigate a couple different like Daedric cult activities. Then you get wrapped up in the dungeon. And it's really cool. There's like some hints about the time that they operate in. So if you enter the dungeon during that time window, there are like congregations going on, and there's just a ton of like these humanoid Daedric cult members. But it's really cool because after you finish each quest, you like print out a paper for like that respective investigation. So it was really cool. So like as you can see, like I guess I don't have one in my inventory right now, but if I had like a paper, it would be like your newspaper, and you could actually read it and see what you wrote. It's kind of cool. And then eventually when you wrap up the entire conspiracy, you print the final paper. It's like you let the people know, and yeah, it's a cool vibe. All right, let's see if we could actually get in here. Okay, we actually broke in. We have to ignore the fact that the NPCs are floating in here. The thing about pre-rendered NPCs in Daggerfall, they don't go away at night in shops. But this shop is really good for breaking in because it's right by the exit. So for our early stealth, you want to scope out buildings that are, or I guess shops that have a shelf that's like right by the exit. We're not even going to try and wait and see. We're going to grab this, immediately steal it, and then just run. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, my my pickpocket skills actually were failed there. So in vanilla Daggerfall, as soon as you break in, you're just good to go. You could take infinite items and there's nothing happening. When I break in, every few seconds there's a stealth check, but then also, even during the break-in moments, trying to take something off the shelf is a pickpocket attempt. And the higher the weight, the harder it is to grab. So a horse is very heavy, obviously. It's hard to grab. Let's just see if we can attempt to bribe the guard here. He's not interested. Oh, man. All right, we got to get out of here. All right, now we got to make use of our running, our jumping, and we already have to flee. All right, I should not have gone for the... He did a chunk of damage to me, too. I'm kind of a low level until my health starts scaling a little better. All right. Can we make that jump? No, we can't, I don't think. At nighttime, the gates will be closed, right? We're going to have to scale these walls then. I can't hear if they're following me, though. They have a specific range. This mod changes some behavior. Actually, this house might be good for escaping. All right, let's crouch so we can get a high jump here. I think we can make this. Yeah, we can make this. All right, good. Oh, no, that was not how I wanted to start here. That was not the right play by me. That guy did like half my life in a single swipe, too. I gotta be a little bit more careful. All right. They're not chasing me. So I think what that means is that my legal rep is not too low right now, which is good. It's hard to tell, actually. Bribe the guard with a Google Play gift card or put it under arrest. It might just work. It might just work. I'm kind of curious. Yeah. I don't think I'm being chased here, which is good. I did not expect that to happen so quickly. My memory of this mod's a little different than I thought. So the way I thought it was I'd be able to, even if I failed the pickpocket, I thought I would still get the horse. But what actually happened is I didn't even get the horse. I failed to get the horse and I got the guard zombie. So that's very punishing. Which means we want to be a lot slower getting this up and building up into like a decent and capable and competent thief here. And my phobia to humanoid is going to make it a lot harder for me to fight guards, which is why I wanted to grab it. Yeah, so that's what I was going for with that. Interesting. So I wonder now if my legal rep is going to be okay in neighboring towns here. I think it actually might be. We could try to go to this one here. This one's pretty close. We have no horse, though, so we're walking for now. That's such a bad start. I will eventually have to clear my name because this is where my house is, this town. And I think they can enter my home if they want to. Let's do a quick rest. Oh, we immediately got enemies here. All right, it sounds like it's just a bat. Oh, the fire arrow. That's so sick. Yeah, I highly recommend the arrow variety mod if you like any kind of archer playthrough. Hey, we get our arrow back too. That's good. That's actually vanilla behavior, apparently. You can retrieve arrows from enemies that you kill with them. All right, this is a good rest. There's a break in the horizon. Something unusual floats there. This is from the... I think that's from... What's it called? Maybe Warm Ashes Wilderness? Also, our health is looking kind of weird. It's like half pink still and half red. How do you clear reputation? One way we can do it is surrender to the guards, which is not the best, but we'll get taken to court, and then we could potentially get out of it without too much of like a penalty. That might be the route we go. I could try to bribe the guards next time I see them again. And if I can get a successful bribe, then I think I can clear my name. And although my legal reputation will be low, I don't think I'll be arrested for criminal conspiracy. On site, at least. And you could also do quests in the region for commoners, royals, maybe factions. I don't know if factions in the region also count towards that. But there's a couple ways you can go about it. Alright, let's keep seeing what happens if we go to the next location here. I'm kind of confused about my health bar there. I don't know if that's like a bug, or just a visual bug, or if I'm actually low on health. Actually, let's check here. It says full health, so... We do have the cart. Oh yeah, I always forget. The cart can be used as a sort of weaker mode of transportation. Not as good as the horse, but a little faster than walking. So that's not too bad then, actually. I'm kind of regretting going for that horse steal. We could follow this road, actually, as well here. But let me check the actual map. Actually, this is off the road, so let's just follow this directly. As I get some levels, I'm going to get a much higher health pool. So that'll help me a lot eventually. This is kind of a bit of a laggy area for me. Maybe this might have a lot of mountains or something in the distance, but let's give it a second to fix itself here. All right, looks a little better. Cart gives you a ton more inventory over a horse though, right? Yeah, that's exactly right. With the cart, we have 750 worth of weight, which is extremely heavy. We could store so much stuff in here. But yeah, I always forget that it could also be used as a little bit of a mode of transportation. Alright, I can see the town here, so... Or I guess this might be a farm. Let's check it real quick. Oh, there's an orc raid. Oh man, this is terrible. We gotta leave immediately. I see a fireball, we'll dodge that. Gotta keep my eye on this orc magi because, yeah, we don't want to fight those guys at level 2. For sure. We're so slow that the killer instinct charge attack is going to keep them in our range for a very long time. Alright, I should have known not to go to a farm right away. Does travel options have any known conflicting mods? It doesn't seem to prompt me in the travel menu. Interesting. Do you have a very large mod list, NR? Or is it a small one? If it's a small one, I could help you out for sure. If you could list or just name a couple of the other mods you have, maybe. Travel options is one of the most widely compatible mods because it's in almost everyone's mod list. So most mod authors think about that. Off the top of my head, I would think that perhaps you should try lowering it in your mod list. It might be a little bit too high up and something could potentially be overwriting something that could relate to it. But yeah, that's something you could immediately try, is just lowering it in the mod list. A flock of harpies. All right, we're getting such a crazy start to this level 2 character here. Not really, just basic roads, Worlds of Daggerfall, calories. Okay, interesting. Climate and calories you're using. Do you know, is your travel options below everything? Yeah, that's the first thing I'd try for sure. Just keep it above World of Daggerfall project, probably, but lower than everything else. That's a common issue with the Decorator mod for me personally. I always have to lower Decorator mod as I add more mods to my mod list. It'll just stop working for me until I do that sometimes. Especially if you have certain mods like Tamriel Atelier. For some reason, I can't have that below my decorator mod. Okay, it's just a rat. We'll actually fight this. Oh man, that did a ton. How come my health bar, Let me make sure this isn't, like, working on... No. So this was not on, so, I guess it could be a visual bug, but kind of weird. All right, so moment of truth here. Let's see what our legal reputation looks like if it is going to travel throughout the entire region. That would be really sad. We'd have to immediately leave to another region that's close by, which wouldn't be too long for travel, but yeah, not ideal when that's where our player home is. I'm not hearing any halts yet, so that's a good sign. It looks like we might be good, actually. That's kind of nice. So what probably happened is we had like a -5 legal rep or -10 for that attempt to steal. And that's not low enough to immediately be arrested for a criminal conspiracy, I think, so that's good. We could just try to buy a horse. Especially at a shop like with lower quality like this. We have enough for it, but just barely. Alright, so let's just start with a horse here. Let's see what else. I don't think he'll buy this from me, but we'll try selling it. We got a silver staff, and what else? We'll keep the cloak as well. We only have 14 arrows. We should probably try to get some more of those as well. Sorry for advising you to steal a horse. Always be a good obeying citizen. I'm just a punk kid. Nah, you're good. I was feeling tempted to try it anyway. Let's buy a little bit more oil as well. We got a broadhead arrow here and a bodkin arrow. Interesting. I forgot exactly what the bodkin one does. I think the broadhead increases your chance to hit with the shot, which is kind of cool. I think we already have a steel one. Yeah, that's decent. All right, it's kind of nice that we were able to steal and not get like immediately in trouble. So that's a good sign, at least. Oh, I was just talking about, I didn't know where else that guy was. This is the same guy in the tavern. He also shows up at the little outside performances, I guess. As long as this guy as well, which is kind of cool. I like the ones that don't just stare at you. Hey, what's up, MJ? I'm 34. So I'm just kind of, I'm just a little too young to have played Daggerfall in its prime. So, yeah, I didn't play this game till much later. But with the Clamoring mod, we can actually, like, jump up even ledges like this. We can find angles like that, which is cool. So nice. I really like how this mod is for a Thief playthrough like this. Let's skill up some of our jumping here. Oh, that was almost a bit of a risky jump. Once we get the climbing rope and hook. We'll have a better climbing skill as well, which will help. I'm 40 and played Daggerfall pirated, by the way, on my first computer, but your graphics are so much better than I remembered. Did they patch it? This is actually Daggerfall Unity. So it's a remake of Daggerfall in the Unity engine. So it looks a lot better, yeah. I also use a mod called Vanilla Enhanced. I don't use it for everything, but I use it for NPCs and a few other things. So it looks a little better as well because of that. But I don't use too many visual overhaul mods because I like Daggerfall's aesthetic and art style. Oh, there's a bat over here. What is this guy doing? What is this? Oh man, we need the arrows for this. I don't want to miss and hit a townsperson. Oh, that was a nice shot. Nice, okay, that worked. Why were there two bats in the town like that? That's so weird. Someone pull out the CRT from storage? Yeah. What's up, Mysterious Fox? Wow, the sun, moon on the horizon? Yeah, there are really, really beautiful skies in this game. And that's because of a mod called Dynamic Skies, MJ. It's actually one of my favorite mods. I put it in my top 5 essential mod video, actually, because I just think the dynamic skies are so, so beautiful in this game that it elevates everything else that's great about Daggerfall. The traveling, the late night exploration and atmosphere. Yeah, Dynamic Skies is one of my favorite mods. I love that this mod is actually dangerous because parkour is actually dangerous. Yeah, exactly, Yuval, especially at lower levels like this. Once I start getting my max health a little higher, it won't be as bad. But yeah, one wrong fall, like if I was on top of this and I jumped off, I definitely could die from that, which would be a hilarious way to end a permadeath run. It's kind of hard to control too, which is something I like about it. I like that it has a bit of a element of performance to it. It's not just like a free thing you can do. It takes some practice and stuff, so that's cool. This is kind of a cool looking tavern as well. I like the open middle here. Monsters outside the dungeon? Yeah, there's also monsters outside the dungeon here, which is cool. Let me check something real quick, guys. Just a second. What GPU and CPU do you have? I have the NVIDIA RTX 3050 Ti. It's really not the best. Yeah. And an i7 for the processor. But, yeah, I really, really need an upgrade. Of course, for Daggerfall, it's mostly okay, but I do lag a little bit in Daggerfall with the mods. But, yeah, it's not terrible for Unity, of course. Can you still run it on 32 megabytes RAM computer? Khajiit roleplay? Yeah, actually, the first Thief playthrough I did, well, I guess that wasn't really a full Thief playthrough. That was more like a, that was the journalist quest mod playthrough thing. That character I made a Khajiit, actually, which I thought was pretty cool. All right, let's just go until we're full health here. So yeah, something really cool about this Kleptomania mod here, I can look at this. Like any item you see here that could be represented as an in-game item, which is basically everything in Daggerfall, because a lot of these use the Daggerfall Expanded Textures mod. So even this little pipe here, if I click on it, you see a smoking pipe, I could try to steal it. So basically every item that's just hanging around, this flower here, this one's not actually registering, but a lot of them will. This right here is a brown pot, green pot, and gray pot. It's really, really cool. I don't even know how this mod works. It's like magic. But if I steal it, it would show up as a item in my inventory, and I could just sell it, even though it's an item you can never find like elsewhere. So it's very weird. I don't know how it works, but it's very cool. Let's wait till nighttime here just so that we can start trying to steal again. Let's go like 5 hours, I guess. NVIDIA for Daggerfall, yeah. It could also be cool for mod like this for archery to make it more challenging, like an aiming and physics system. Probably really hard to create, though. Yeah, you know, Yuval, actually, now that you mentioned that, there is a mod that kind of makes use of some of that with... I don't know if you've ever tried out handheld torches, but you can throw those torches, and they have like an arch, and they have momentum, and they bounce off of walls and stuff. So it's kind of interesting. If that can work for the handheld torches, I feel like it probably could work for archery as well. But yeah, I'm not a modder myself, so I'm not really sure, but it feels like it should work that way. So what is the gameplay now? Get the quest, get into the dungeon, find an item, return it, repeat. Did that make it more interesting? Yeah, MJ, kind of depends on how you want to roleplay and what you want to do for a playthrough. So for a lot of my playthroughs, I rarely or don't even enter dungeons sometimes. And this playthrough might not enter a dungeon. For this playthrough, our goal is to... I can pull it back up on OBS real quick. We're going after this steal list that you can see over here. We're trying to get one of each of these items. We're going to bring them back to our player home. And we're going to display them in our like display room. Each one of these has a corresponding decorator mod like icon, so we can actually place this in the real world once we steal them. And the final thing on the bottom right is Berenzia's crown, and this is the final quest of the Thieves Guild, and it's going to have us breaking into the Wayrest Castle and stealing the crown from the Queen. That's our ultimate goal of the playthrough. But in order to do that, we have to really build up our stealth skills and our thieving skills, and we're going to do that by collecting one of each of these items throughout the world, wherever we can find them. So that might be in shops, that might be out in the city, that might be off of someone's corpse, or from pickpocketing them. There's a couple different options, but that's this playthrough goal. But right now in the first episode, we're just trying to build up our, you know, like thieving skills, so there's not going to be too much risky stuff. I have a really beefy computer, but modern games, mainly Unreal Engine, makes it hot and really loud. I kind of hate it. Modern games trade readable, understandable game worlds with impressive lighting. I would love to see an old school RuneScape art style for DFU. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. My even my laptop with running this game sometimes gets really hot for some reason. I think it's partly because I'm streaming as well, but I basically can't run any modern games without reaching like 80-something temps, which is so unfortunate for me. But yeah. An old school RuneScape art style mod for DFU, that'd be sick. I didn't play much old school RuneScape, but yeah, I know it's a sick game that people love, a classic for sure. Oh wow, so it's basically a completely new game? Yeah, for sure. What's cool about this sort of sandbox role-playing game that Daggerfall is that you can build your own character concepts, playthrough concepts, and then just make your own playthrough goals. You don't have to follow the main story. That's how I like to play. Have you ever played the Thief games by Looking Glass Studios? I think you would enjoy them. Hey, what's up, Adam? Yeah, I haven't actually played them, but I got Thief Gold, and I think it's Thief 2. I don't know if Thief 2 also had a gold version, but I have them both on GOG. And yeah, I definitely intend to play them. They're in the backlog right now. I feel like I would love them too. I mean, mixing fantasy with this type of like, I guess it's an immersive sim, the Thief games maybe, is maybe a better way to put it. But yeah, really, really cool. All right, let's go for some lockpicking skill ups. We'll take it slow. So whenever I fail a lockpick, I'll get this minigame. If my check is successful, then I can bypass it. And the minigame's very hard for me right now because my lockpicking skill is very low. The better my lockpicking skill, the slower this will be and easier for me to do. Oh, man. Hey, we got it, okay. But we're not coming in here to steal anything yet. We're just stealthing around, practicing. I'm kind of not 100% sure how the legal reputation works It's kind of interesting that I don't have guards on me in the region right now after getting caught trying to steal that horse in the first town, so I'm kind of curious why that is. If Daggerfall looked like this in 1995, it would just slay both Baldur's Gates and everything else. What about the mage/magic build? Can it also skip dungeons and do a completely magic-related quest instead? Yeah, for sure. It kind of just depends on how you build your own mod list, right? Like the goals that I'm setting up for this playthrough, besides the Berenzia's Crown, that is a specific quest mod. But other than that, it's just my own goals that I'm setting up for myself for the playthrough. I built the character to support that idea. But for a magic build, you could do a lot of things. You could do a different type of faction, like archaeology. You could do maybe setting a goal to, I don't know, collect every book, discover every spell, or find one of the rare artifacts. Or maybe you could set up a goal for a caster, like a sorcerer, where your only goal for the playthrough is to summon one of the Daedric princes. That could be cool too. You could download like a necromancy mod and just try and get the highest rank minions. But kind of depends on what you want to do. Speaking of immersive sims, I actually learned PF Daggerfall from discussions about the genre, but I never felt it fit. What's your opinion? Maybe it would make for interesting videos. Yeah, I don't really think of Daggerfall as an immersive sim, to be honest. And in general, like even life sim, I think Daggerfall, with some modding support, it could kind of reach like life sim, but immersive sim, I don't think so. When I think of immersive sims, I think of games like the Thief series, and Might and Magic Dark Messiah. I think of stuff like that. Hey, what's up, Christian? Evening EU time? Nice. Yeah, I was hoping this would be an okay time for the EU crowd. That's nice. I'm happy, actually, because it's late, but not too late for you guys, right? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I just don't see Daggerfall as an immersive sim. But I do know, like, maybe with more mod support, it could get there. But yeah, I don't think so at the moment. Younger me likes the lockpicking minigames. You can cheese no matter what your level. Older me appreciates skill check lockpicking. Yeah, I tend to prefer like a skill check as I build up my character and stuff. But when you fail getting the minigame, I think that's kind of cool. And the one nice thing about that is it takes a long time in Daggerfall to get your lockpicking up and to get your pickpocketing up. So it's kind of like a way to double dip in the skill and get some stuff up. But yeah, we're going to be failing a lot here. Oh, I was so close there. So yeah, so sometimes you'll get a message like this. This is from the Skullduggery mod. You hear footsteps as someone awake in the house. So yeah, we should be careful here. We're not trying to steal anything anyway. But we only get our stealth skill up from actually moving around in stealth. Crouching will increase our stealth capability as well. But just going around at night and doing this is a nice way to slowly get our skill up here. We are going to go for one steal in one of the general goods store. We'll go for something that's a lot lighter. Maybe a something really simple like a torch or oil, maybe. All right, this guy's got a dog outside. We're not going over there. All right, here's a weapon shop. Weapons tend to be kind of heavy, right? I don't think we want to go for that. We catch up on chat here. Doing well, kids are just tucked in. Perfect timing. Nice. Love to hear it. Yeah, it's kind of good. I think like the 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. time for me on the East Coast is pretty good for EU, which is nice. I think it's actually on Sundays and Saturdays especially. I think it's both good for North America and EU with that time slot. I remember Daggerfall could be tiring. I mean, you could get lost in these dungeons for like 4 to 5 playthroughs and wait 6 hours just because you didn't know how to quit. Yeah, for sure. I mean, some people don't love Daggerfall's dungeon design in general. I think it's probably the most divisive part of Daggerfall. But there are a lot of mods to sort of, you know, make it more personalized, design it how you like it to be. There's also the smaller dungeons option in Unity for some people that prefer that. That makes it a lot smaller without going too crazy and completely changing how the game feels. But yeah, that just kind of depends on the person. I'm always a big supporter of, you know, building and modding the game to be the way you like it. So if you prefer like smaller dungeons or less of it, then yeah, I definitely recommend just building out the kind of mod list that supports that preference for sure. Even I sometimes have playthroughs where I'm like, I don't really want to dungeon delve in this playthrough. Even like this one is kind of very low on dungeon delving. It might not have any, actually. I feel like I'm the only person on Earth who doesn't like Oblivion's lockpicking minigame. I don't hate it as much as I used to, but still don't like it. Yeah, I didn't love it either, to be honest. I don't love Skyrim's either. I don't know how similar they were with Oblivion. It's been a while since I played Oblivion. But I didn't love Skyrim's either. Skyrim's almost felt like you could too easily solve it without having a high skill. And because they didn't build in other options, really, besides... Does that game even have, like, an open spell? I don't even know if the game has an open spell. But, you know, in most RPGs, there's, like, a bash option. Oh! Wait a sec. Is this a guard? Oh, no, it's not. These are just rogues. That is crazy. We're getting attacked in the middle of the night just by rogues here. Oh, man, they do a ton of damage. All right, we're running. That is so crazy. In the middle of a city like this? What's going on? Man, I'm so low level that my max HP has not gotten scaled up yet. We actually have really good scaling on our max HP per level. Will they follow me into a... we gotta be very careful here. If this run dies early, we'll probably just restart it, to be honest. Because it might. If I can get to like level 5, I'm gonna have a ton of health. I'll feel a lot more comfortable. Hey, we leveled up. Okay, that's really good. That's what's good about choosing like lockpicking as a major skill here. As we get this up early, we can start really building up the thief and get some health. I don't like it either. I hate minigames. Yeah, I kind of prefer just having classic skill checks for this stuff. It's kind of the fun of building the character. But in the case of this Penwick Papers mod, I think it's okay when I fail to have a little minigame, but I might get bored of it. I may deactivate it in this playthrough at some point. Skyrim's to me, at least it isn't frustrating like Oblivion's. Gotcha. Yeah, Skyrim's is pretty simple, honestly. Even if you have a very low lockpicking skill, it doesn't seem too hard, usually. I lived in Nordic countries for 5 years, and I absolutely hate both snowy landscapes and stories about Vikings and stuff. Norwegians speak about it all the time. Skyrim is just pathetic. Yeah, if you don't like the snowy environment like that and sort of like the Viking vibe, then yeah, Skyrim is not going to be for you. Installed Neverwinter Nights again after watching your stream of it. I love the game. That's awesome, Christian. I love to hear that. Yeah, I kind of recently came back to it again. I always kind of play it every year. I kind of come back to it every year. I try out a couple different modules. But yeah, that makes me very happy. The stream didn't get too many views when I played Neverwinter Nights, which I think is kind of fair. It's a little bit narrative heavy compared to Daggerfall, and it's a little harder for me to talk and stuff when I'm playing it. We're actually going to get our intellect up a little bit, because intellect is relevant for our lockpicking. So that's kind of cool. Starfield had the worst BG's lockpicking. The more you level it up, the more it punishes you. That sounds insane. How does it do that exactly? Is it just like the higher your skill, does it just spawn harder ones? Is that why? Yeah, I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna get some water and go to the bathroom, and then we'll keep doing some thieving stuff. 1 second here. Let me get the overlay thing up. All right, we're back here. Let me put down this overlay. All right, cool. And we shouldn't be muted. Okay, yeah, I think we're good on the mic. I love the direction Bethesda took with Morrowind, like completely fresh lore with creatures, landscapes, world that is mostly unique. And typical high fantasy niche, there's a lot of competitors. Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty excited to give Morrowind another try this year. I played like 10 hours of it last year, and I was already really enjoying it. I kind of fell out of it partly because I was doing so much Daggerfall content for the channel. But yeah, I'm excited to try it again. I really do like how it's very different from Daggerfall. I like how it's its own thing. Yeah, I'm curious how I'm going to feel about the writing and the regional stories that people love, like some of the faction quests and stuff. All right, getting level 3 is actually huge for us. Now we have a ton more health here. Let's rest until we're fully healed, though. I don't think those guys are going to enter the inn. Starfield's lockpicking minigame gets more complex and multi-layered as you level up, while the loot is the same, so you spend 5 minutes to loot some pocket. Oh man, that's insane. Yeah, that's just like a classic misunderstanding of how you want to scale a skill. The exact opposite should be happening. This rapscallious music, yeah. This is a little bit of a cheeky little theme here. Let's see if these guys are still waiting for me out here. All right, I see this floating harpy here. You guys see that in the background? I think this is actually from one of the mods messing something up here. And my theory is that this might have to do with potentially warm ashes, maybe? I don't know. I don't know why monsters like this are spawning in cities for me. They're not supposed to. But you can see it's above the water. And I know some of the Warm Ashes additions adds like encounters at the sea, but I have running water here from the animated water mod. Maybe it's making the game think I'm out at sea right now. But having 2 encounters is very fishy now. There's an online mod for Daggerfall, I think. Hey, what's up? Yeah, there is. I've heard about this too. There is some kind of multiplayer mod that... I put this on my hotkey? No, I can't. Okay. Yeah, there is a multiplayer mod I know that was being worked on, but I don't know if the people that made it originally are still working on it. Oh man, we can't even hurt these guys with this. But we do have the explosive arrow, and that kind of works. And now the guards are... This is so weird, man. Oh man, I got something wrong with my mod list here. All right, we got to figure this out for episode 2 at some point. This might be Penwick Papers. This might be Skullduggery. This might be Warm Ashes. I'm going to have to do a little testing. But yeah, the online mod for Daggerfall, I don't know if you ever tried it out, Rana, but yeah, I know it was being worked on for a while, and someone else had talked to me about it recently. It's still playable, I think. It's also very laggy here. It feels like we're at sea or something. And then on top of that, the guards don't actually follow me. This is so weird right now. I definitely got some issues with the mod list. So it's kind of good that we figured this out in episode 1. But yeah, I would love to do the online mod at some point with viewers and stuff. Maybe we could all play together, get a couple people. I don't know what like the max limit is, but if we could get like 3 or 4 people that all want to play together, that could be so much fun. Actually get that like classic companion vibe in Daggerfall. I would love that. I guess it's also possible that my explosive arrow just hit a civilian, but it didn't look like I did. And I'm not being chased, so that's even weirder. I've never played Morrowind for more than 5 minutes, but it looks like the amount of content Morrowind had now with almost 25 years worth of mods is insane. Yeah, I know it's got a super active modding scene as well. I actually made the mistake of not having open Morrowind in my first attempt, my first like 10-hour attempt, which I know adds a lot of good stuff. So yeah, I think that's this time I am going to mod it a little bit when I play it. Not too much, but a little bit. This is so laggy for me. You killed some guy under the harpy? Oh, did I? Oh man, that's classic. Yeah, that makes sense then, that the guards will be after me. What doesn't make sense is why there's a harpy there. They're still chasing. Alright, I might have just screwed this region up for myself here. Alright, at least that's good to know. It's good to know that I actually did kill a civilian there, because otherwise that would have been really weird. I was not expecting that explosive arrow to be so huge. I'll have to keep that in mind now. But yeah, I wonder what I could have done with my mod list to make harpies spawning in cities, and then I also had the oh, this could be a good place to do a little stealth thing. That guy already sees me. We got some horse poop on the ground here. This is also a decent place to get our streetwise up. Alright, before we fight, guys, let's chat it out. I don't think they want to chat. Hey, we already pacified one immediately. That's pretty good. Man, I'm taking so much damage here, though. That's so cool. And we can sell all this stuff, which is good. Oh yeah, I'm also kind of forgetting that I'm not actually even wearing armor. That's part of the issue here. Duh. Kind of forgot that. And I can wear leather. Maybe I should wear just some of this when we're outside. The more armor I wear, the more difficult it is to stealth successfully. Let's see how these two are doing here. They should be fighting. Yeah. Looks like my guy lost here. That's so cool. From my limited understanding, Open Morrowind is best for vanilla-like experiences, as many mods are so old they haven't been updated to be compatible with Open Morrowind yet. Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of crazy as well. Yeah, someone have recommended it to me. I have to do a little bit more research on that myself, honestly. I went for a few minutes. What I missed seems like something critical. Yeah, we accidentally blew up a civilian in town, and now we're on the run. Grimoire UI now has a patch for Uncanny Interface if you're interested. Oh, what's up, Jimmy? That's pretty cool. I didn't even hear about that. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I didn't know that. Grimoire UI now has a patch for Uncanny Interface. That's kind of cool. I kind of preferred Uncanny's interface just because it took me a little while to get used to how the UI was for removing items and stuff like that. But now I've been using it for so long, I probably would feel a little weird going back. But yeah, Yuval, we accidentally killed a civilian there. Which means I probably completely screwed up my, what's it called? Regional legal reputation here, which is really unfortunate. I feel like I hear an arrow, right? Somewhere. I have no idea how I'm missing this guy. Where are you at? I feel like he might have spawned somewhere I can't see. Let's back it up here. We'll keep moving. Happy accidents? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even see that guy. I tried to shoot the harpy and I was not expecting such a big blast on that explosive arrow. Alright, it should be safe to rest around here, I'm thinking. Hopefully we don't get any encounters. I'll feel a lot safer once we get to like level 5. Oh man, I don't know if I've ever seen this horse here. Wait a second. What if, and this would be absolutely insane, but what if the kleptomaniac mod actually works for this? Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. That would be crazy. I had them spawn under the ground. Yeah, that might have been what this was. It sounded like someone was trying to shoot me with an arrow. I think that probably is what it was. Man, I never noticed these butterflies moving around here. You see, there's so many of them here. Looks like we can't yoink them. Yeah, this is another example of that thing I really love with SquidKamer, where he builds a lot of like artwork to not be facing the player all the time. It's really good variety from how it is in vanilla, where everything stares at you. This thing has its back to you, you know? I just really love that design choice by SquidKamer. He does it in so many of his mods. Makes the stream more memorable? Yeah. It's all about the emergent... Oh, speaking of which, that's a cool-looking bird. I kind of love that about any kind of playthrough in Daggerfall. You're always going to get all sorts of story moments and emergent playthrough moments that you're just not expecting at all that are hilarious and crazy. They all build towards the story of the character, which I love. I'd never say a butterfly, but horses, like in real life, yeah. Kind of want to travel at night to show off what kind of dynamic sky we can get here. Let's rest, well, it might be a little dangerous, actually, until we get a higher level. No, let's just keep going for now. We got to get somewhere else here. Oh, actually, we should probably go to a crypt. We could actually practice our pickpocketing on, like, any kind of grave robber or even rats and bats. We might do this, actually. SquidKamer. Yeah, legendary mod author, SquidKamer. All right, we might be able to get some pickpocketing skill up here. Really nice area here. But it's kind of cool in this game. Even rats and bats and all sorts of critters can be pickpocketed in this game, which is kind of cool. It's also a good way to get our stealth skill up. I want to see if I can make this jump. It actually looks like I can. Yeah, how crazy is that? This Battle Spire jump mechanic is awesome. Like any surface, I can climb on top of these surfaces. It's so nice. That's a little too high, but if we start from here... Yeah, that's cool. I love that you go to places manually and not fast travel. Yeah, that's my preferred way. I love traveling in Daggerfall, so that's a huge part of it for me. It's one of the few RPGs that I love traveling in like this. Like, I really can't think of too many other games that feel like how Daggerfall travel feels. It's kind of its own thing. All right, let's get into stealth. Let's crouch. And let's turn out any light sources if we have it on. We don't, okay? It's also a good opportunity to take off our armor, actually, because the less armor we have on, the better our stealth skill will be. Imagine a necromancer mod to be able to raise dead from graves. There is a pretty good necromancer mod. I don't know if you actually can raise something from graves, though, or not. As Spider-Man's a menace. This one definitely hears me already. Actually, maybe not. Okay, so this guy was here. I'm kind of curious. If I try to rob him like this... Okay. He unfortunately hurt us. I probably should have moved a little quicker. Man, there's a good chance we're going to get poisoned here as well. I gotta be careful. Oh man, he's still alive. We might have to run here. Okay, we're out of here. Okay. I think we're not poisoned. That's really good. We're slowly getting our skills up here. But yeah, this is kind of how I want my thief to play. We have a phobia. One of the disadvantages we took here is phobia to humanoid. So this really reduces our chance to hit against humanoid enemies like that guy there. And I just feel like it's a really good fit for thief. Really focus more on like the urban stealth stuff, breaking and entering, rather than combat stuff. But we're going to heal outside here. We're still trying to slowly get our short blade up, because that's one of our primary skills, and our pickpocket as well. But even stealth will go up here nicely. So hopefully no encounters, and we can rest a little bit here would be nice. All right, that's a decent rest. All right, we got the pacification as well. All right, this is good. I've done an entire playthrough, which is traveling via actually using the horse and in vanilla. It's horrible, but with mods, it's pretty cool. There are a lot of interesting things to find. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, vanilla is just... I actually really love that Daggerfall doesn't have so many points of interest, but in the vanilla version, it's too little, you know? There's just not enough in the actual world. With the World of Daggerfall project, I think it strikes that really good balance of there's things to find, there's reasons to actually be traveling and exploring, but it's not so common that you're constantly running into stuff, you know? You still get to have those moments where it's just you alone in the massive Daggerfall wilderness and all that atmospheric stuff that comes from that kind of traveling. But yeah, you definitely do want some mods. Nice dodge, yeah. That was kind of close with that arrow there, too. Witcher 3's and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's horse auto-pathing are great travel options. Yeah, that's kind of cool, too. Just being able to kind of put the controller down and not aim it. I guess with the basic roads mod, you can kind of do that a little bit. Not perfectly, of course. But at least you'll follow the roads until there's like a turn. I guess it does stop you for turns, so maybe not perfect. We don't really care about any of that stuff. Take a look at my wares. Maybe she'll buy some of this stuff from me. The burglar only has 12 gold. Wow, that's kind of crazy. I could sell the sandals to her. Nice. Oh, that's actually pretty expensive, the formal hat. That's kind of nice. All right, that's good enough. And let's see if she'll actually follow us. Come on. Nice. Okay, we actually got a traveler with us. This is good. Now I can safely rest and she'll protect me. And while she's doing that... Alright, it didn't work. Oh man, let's let her tank some of the hits here. We'll go for some backstabs, maybe. Oh, she died already? Oh, man. Let's get a light source going, actually, so we can see a little bit better here. Let's let her charge in. Try to bait some swings here. Ooh, that did a good amount of damage to me. Okay, we gotta be careful here. Let's run. I'm learning how crazy phobia to humanoid is. This is kind of funny here. Alright, we can reset her, I think. Alright, let's chill for a second. Yo, what's up, Valentine puppy? No worries, you're good. We're actually not too far in here. We're just slowly trying to build up our thief skills now. I'm kind of jumping into combat a little too early, probably, for this character. But we are getting some decent skill ups here. I really just want to hit like level 5, so we have at least a decent health pool. Once we get the health pool up, I won't be too worried anymore about getting caught by guards. Because right now the guards will chunk me for like half my life. Once this gets to like 130-ish, we'll be okay. We have a really high max HP per level up with this character. And our phobia to humanoid is what's making this so hard right now for us. Because we actually do have a steel short blade here, which should be, or short sword, which should be pretty good, you'd think. All right, let's put some stuff in our wagon here. We don't need that wooden cup or these tights or clothing stuff. All right, for now, we'll put some of this armor on because we're not really stealthing too much. All right, we'll see if she's still outside here. Oh man, we're getting so unlucky with the encounters. Okay, it's just a rat, that's okay. All right, let's crouch down, get on his level here. All right, not bad. All right, another... All right, it is a rogue, though, so we might be able to... All right, we got the pacification, okay? I want to check if she poisoned me. I don't think so. Nah. I always found people who put self-limitations on their card decks to be strange, but that seems to work here. Yeah. What's it called? We don't have too many restrictions here. I guess we got the magic restriction as well, too. But this is kind of nice because it lets us have like really fast level up. These are really heavy on lowering the penalty, sheer XP growth, so it's kind of good. And so is the inability to regen spell points as well. All right, now that we pacified her, though, see if she'll join us. Nah. But this is actually very good for our streetwise skill as well. Oh, someone hit her. Oh, that was a nice fight. All right, that's good. I can't believe how many encounters we're getting here right now. It's kind of crazy. This is probably less armor. This is 3. This is 5. Yeah. All right. All right. At least she'll protect me here. We can try and get a decent rest now. All right. Not too bad. We're actually full health here. I kind of want to try to pickpocket her now. I think she'll turn against me if I do, though. Actually, I don't think it's working for these guys right now. I'm not sure why. Yeah, it's definitely not working. I'll have to try and figure that out in the mods afterwards. Ooh, it's that speech skill using the pirate. Let's play. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're getting some streetwise up here as a thief. But it's not a major... Actually, it might be major. Yeah, it is a major skill, but it's not a major part of the playthrough itself. But yeah, it'll at least help us early on. It's actually very hard for this character to fight right now. All right, let's see if we can do a little better on our stealth here. All right, this guy hurt us. Wow, that guy just read my dodge. That was a great prediction by this guy. Man, this is dangerous stuff. The worst part here is I risk getting poisoned. But now that we got such bad legal reputation, I almost can't just steal stuff at night. All right, this is kind of interesting. What should I be doing? I guess I could try to go back and I could try to get a successful bribe on one of the guards in one of the cities. That might clear my name. Let's rest one more time while we're here. And she doesn't want to join us, right? Nah. All right, let's try to find a town here that we haven't gone to. We don't want to go to a farm because we don't want to risk a large encounter. I don't think I've been to this place. Let's try going here first. I think we're going to be arrested on sight, though. Could always parkour more? Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Could get some of our jumping skill up. Our jumping is one of the major skills, so it's going to help us level up. Actually, that might be the play. Run around, jump a little bit. In whatever town we get to. Let's see if the guards are coming after us in this next town here. Oh, look at this little shrine here we just passed. I really, really like these about the World of Daggerfall project. It's not just all bandit camps and orc fortresses or castles that you can siege. There's also, you know, points of interest like this where there's no functional reason, really. It's just for world building and, yeah, the vibe, the atmosphere. Yeah, I always like that about this mod. There's some stuff like that, you know? It's not all just combat stuff. Agility was always one I did first in Morrowind. Yeah, I'm pretty high on agility on this character. And that's mostly because a lot of our thief skills care about agility. Especially with how it's rebalanced with the Skullduggery mod. But yeah, it's also, agility's not that strong in Daggerfall, really. You know, I have 80 points, that's a lot of points, and you get a +3 modifier to hit. It's okay, but it's not too strong. It's really much more useful for your skills if you have a mod that supports a different kind of formula for how it calculates. And Skullduggery kind of changes everything to make agility actually very, very valuable. I love to max speed in Daggerfall. Yeah, speed is so good in Daggerfall. And it just feels so good, too. When you play a low-speed character, you can really, really feel the difference. Like, everything from your attack speed to your movement speed, it becomes so much harder to actually dodge enemies. Yeah, speed is, like, insanely good. Very cool. Yeah, I like these shrines like this. All right, moment of truth. Do the guards want to immediately arrest me for criminal conspiracy? Let's see. All right, so far so good. We might be okay here. This could be a better place to practice some of our thieving stuff because when you're in small towns like this, you don't have to worry about the walls at night, right? At nighttime, cities actually close their main gates, and then there's also really tall walls, which means you have to try and climb out to escape the guards. And they can, like, two-shot me at this level, so if I go to a little town like this, we might be a little safer. I love little things like that. Yeah, me too. It really adds so much. Not everything has to be, you know, functional or have like some kind of player benefit. Some things should just be there for the atmosphere, the world building sense, and all that kind of stuff. All right, let's do a little parkour here. We'll warm up. Do you think we can make that? Nice. With our clamoring, we actually can. That's so cool. We actually have a pretty good starting jumping skill. Oh, just barely? Okay. Okay, so interestingly enough, I don't think the guards are on me right now. I would bet our legal reputation is like -10, -15 or something like that, which might not be low enough to cause like immediate arrest. Just suspicion, maybe. In Morrowind is a Thieves Guild? That's cool. Yeah, I don't know what kind of character I want to go with for my first real Morrowind playthrough. I think I was kind of doing a... I actually don't remember. I might have been doing a druid playthrough, actually, or something like a druid. Oh, I think I was doing like a green knight, like a fighter plus a druid, I think. But I think that character I'm going to scrap, actually. I kind of want to start over from the beginning because I'm going to have different kind of mods set up, and it's been so long that I kind of want to restart it all just to get the experience again. But yeah, I don't know what kind of character I want to make for Morrowind. I don't know what will be fun. I kind of prefer martial classes, usually. In the Elder Scrolls games, at least. Good old min-max battle mage. Is that like the strongest option in Morrowind? Pretty cool looking temple here. I love how decorated these temples are with this mod on. Finding my religion. You know, shelves are decorated. Even on top of bookcases, there's stuff. It's just very cool. And the colors on the walls are really, really nice. And the banners, too. If you actually click the statue, you see on top, it tells you a little bit about the god that they worship here. Akatosh. Worship the eight, do your duty, and heed the commands of the saints and priests. Yeah, I think we're not under arrest here. Alchemist is strongest there is in Morrowind. Oh, that's really interesting, actually. I can't think of another RPG where the Alchemist is like the strongest. Actually, in Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, the Alchemist is pretty strong as well. I don't think it's the strongest, but it's good for sure. It's good as like a couple level dip for any martial class. Is Morrowind less role-playable than Daggerfall? I would assume so, Yuval. I would think so. Just because Daggerfall is just like a, almost a complete sandbox RPG. It's so hard to be more role-playable than this. I'm sure Morrowind's still pretty good for role-playing, but it's not quite as heavy sandbox as Daggerfall. At least that's what it seems like to me from what I played so far. Oh, yo, check out this little sheep area here. Look at these guys. This is kind of funny. Yeah, I don't think Morrowind's as role-playable as Daggerfall. Wow, with the skyline too, the sunset. I'm a lone thief on the road here, trying to evade the law. Morrowind magic follows an inverse logic from most RPG, where magic is powerful early game, then melee becomes powerful late game. Oh, that's extremely weird. Yeah, I can't think of any other RPGs off the top of my head that are like that. It's almost always the case that martial is better early, and then magic scales ridiculously. Yeah, that's interesting. What makes Alchemist so good? Are the potions that you can create just extremely busted in general? The most sane has to be Akatosh. It's beautiful. I love role-playing in the atmosphere and the exploration in Daggerfall. Yeah, me too. It's my perfect sandbox RPG. We're going to wait till nighttime here, and we're going to try and steal some stuff. We're going to keep practicing our thieving skills. And we're on the lookout. I don't know if I showed you guys recently, but this is our steal list for the playthrough. This is everything we're on the lookout for, and the goal is to get one of each back to our home, where we're going to put it on our display. And then eventually, on the bottom right, you see Berenzia's crown. That is the crown jewel of the playthrough. The final thing we're going to be trying to steal. An issue I have with a lot of RPGs is that I feel that role-playing actually punishes you. Charisma, for example, is usually not useful. Add it to lockpicking and crafting skills, and it undermines every stat and skill. Yeah, sometimes it is kind of at odds with each other, right? Where there are some games that if you're too focused on doing what's optimal, you're not going to be able to role-play the way you like. I tend not to worry too much about trying to play optimally or worrying about the balance too much. I just kind of try to focus on the role-playing. But yeah, it can be kind of frustrating when game design is designed in a way that's really not great for balancing those two aspects, and you feel like you have to make decisions that you don't want to from the role-playing side just because of what's optimal or what's beneficial to you as a player. All right, do we have this jump? This would be a funny way for the playthrough to die, jumping on these buildings. I'm taking damage already. This is a very cool little village, though, out here with these sheeps and stuff. Alchemy is just OP, especially if you loop it with fortification. Gotcha. Yeah. Honestly, like, alchemy is kind of OP in Daggerfall as well. But it's kind of hard to build up like a stockpile of really good potions in this game until late game anyway. It's very hard early on. Yeah, this is a really pretty skyline, the colors right now. Let's get a better vantage point here. Once it gets dark, we'll rest a little bit till everyone sleeps, and then we'll practice some of those thief skills. Morrowind has no caps on skills. Potion power can go up infinitely. Oh, man. There's no cap on any skill in Morrowind? That sounds insane to me. Yoink? Yeah, that's what we're going for, Valentine. The old Yoink playthrough. We got our little steal list here. Gorgeous sky? Yeah, absolutely. I always try to show off the dynamic sky mod as, like, I don't know. I just see it as like one of the most important mods in my list these days. I'm just constantly appreciating it more and more. Oh no, I hear a guard. They were still after me. That's crazy. Oh, man. That's absolutely insane. I thought we were in the clear. Man, we're already on the run at level 3. Wait, let's pull them over to these bandits. Oh, no, that's just a shrine. No bandits there? Okay. Man, that's crazy. We got to get to a new region already. All right, we may have made some crazy mistakes. I love how the stars are just starting to poke out a little bit. You start to see the light, and now, yeah. One of the things that makes the skyline in Daggerfall so successful, though, is the way that time passes. And this is my favorite nighttime theme. I absolutely love this song. It's so atmospheric and nice. But because you see those casual and or gradual changes, I should say, in the skyline, it's just so pretty to be traveling in real time like this. The actual presentation of it is almost perfect in my eyes. Does Featherfall let you jump further? No, I think actually when you activate, well, Featherfall or Slowfall, I'm kind of confused. Is Featherfall the name of the spell effect for the Slowfall spell? If it is, then you actually can't even jump when you have Slowfall activated in Daggerfall, strangely enough. You need to get to a ledge before you activate it, and then you can fall. You could just walk off the ledge and you'll slowly fall down. But you actually can't jump when you have that active in Daggerfall, which is kind of weird. But yeah, that's how it works. You can actually see the sun slowly sets in dynamic skies. Yeah, absolutely. It'll slightly adjust its position as the time changes, as it goes down or up. We could check it out again when the sun rises later. And one-shot every mob while you own a weapon will break after one hit, and it's powerful because of Sujama. Interesting. Yeah, I think I kind of want to go melee in Morrowind. And part of that is because it has a different combat system from Daggerfall that I kind of just want to get a good sense of. I mean, I guess I could also do that with a hybrid build, but I tend to like melee in Elder Scrolls games, actually. All right, we gotta be a little careful at night because sometimes we could get vampires or werewolves, which would hurt us. We definitely got to spend the beginning of this run running away from a lot of these enemies. Let's put our light on too, actually. I think I have a hotkey, yeah. At least we got the chance to watch sunset until the guards came to us. Very dramatic, like from an 80s film, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the aesthetic it gives me. Those old retro 80s films or early 90s fantasy paintings. I mean, especially the dynamic skies here. It's very, very pretty. Wow, I wonder why the guards took so long to show up there. That was kind of interesting. I wonder if one of the NPCs have to see you. I got a decent amount of mods changing stuff, and I haven't had much time to test it. I kind of just jumped into this playthrough. So I'm not really sure what I would want to test to see how everything works. Maybe I'll just give a closer read to all the mod pages and see if I missed something. I think it is working correctly. I just don't know why harpies are spawning in my cities and stuff. That's kind of weird. All right, we should be able to rest again here. But yeah, see how it says undead sailors have surfaced before you? The game thinks I'm in the water sections, and I think that's from Warm Ashes. But I'm not 100% sure. So I could deactivate that. I like having that mod up, though, because it adds a lot of cool wildlife to the world and stuff. But at the same time, with the World of Daggerfall project, I don't really need random encounters either. But yeah, as you can see, no undead sailors came after us. Oh, speaking of insane skies, look at this moon right now. Maybe they only suspect you when you wander after dark. It's possible, yeah. I think also, by the way, I think I can also... I don't know if this is the mod where it works, but I think I can put a hood over my head. And yeah, I think I could put this over my head. And this might help conceal me, actually, in towns if I have a low legal reputation. I think that is actually part of I don't know if it's part of Pen with Papers or part of Skullduggery, maybe, or Roleplay and Realism. I really don't know which one, but I think that works that way. We actually have to get out of this region now, though, which actually isn't too far. We can actually ride to this border town here. All right, let's go for it. We just got to pay attention to our stamina, watch the random encounters. I didn't realize just how weak I made this character. But it's actually kind of cool. I like this for a thief playthrough. I don't want this character to feel like a rogue or to feel like a warrior or to feel like an assassin. I want her to be relying on the thievery to build up the wealth, not just fighting stuff. Oh yeah, could you imagine, Yuval, like something like a barbershop in cities that you could get a haircut from? That would be so cool, actually. Dye your hair. All right, let me do a quick save in case we crash or something. I've been having more crashes these days. I really, I'm long overdue to go over my mod list and fix some stuff. Because the thing about my mod list is I'm always putting stuff in and taking stuff out for the mod showcase videos. So yeah, I kind of have a messy mod list for sure. Tonight I was just passing by. I wanted to say hi, enjoy the stream. Hey, thanks, I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we're doing episode 1 of the Thief playthrough here. And we're already on the run because we already got the law after us. I may have been a little too ambitious with my early steal attempts here. I think once we get to this area, is this the area right here? This might even be it. Oh yeah, this is another very cool thing. I don't think you can enter these buildings, but this is also just a part of World of Daggerfall project. I was mentioning those like non-functional points of interest, and this is one of them. Very, very pretty, like idyllic looking farm with a windmill, but I think you can't enter them. Yeah, it'll say this door is barred from the other side. So it's not really functional. It's just nice to run into this in the wild. They're kind of rare too. You don't see them too often. This windmill you can maybe enter though. No, this one's also barred. Okay. So there's no interior cells added, but it's just a nice little set piece when you're out in the wilderness to find. All right, let's keep going. We got to get to the next region here. Then we'll have a clean slate. Yeah, thanks again, Take care. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, once we get a clean slate here, we can actually start practicing here. And this is actually a pretty good little town here. There's no walls. Let me just check and make sure. Yeah, okay, so we're in the next region here. All right. This is actually kind of a really good area. It was unintentional, but you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3. There's like 3 different regions, or 4 different regions, I should say, right on top of each other. So if we get caught again here, we could cross into this one, Rothgarian Mountains, or we could cross into Vigius region. So we got a couple options here if we keep getting caught. But we're going to play it a little bit more carefully this time. All right, let's save it. All right, now we don't have to worry about guards. That's good. We got a couple different taverns here. This is kind of an interesting shape. Kind of curious to check this one here. Oh, we got ghosts out here. Oh yeah, this is one of those taverns that are like a civilian tavern. It's not like a real business here, but this guy does accept people staying over. I saw this for the first time in like I think it was in the last pirate playthrough. I did not know these like non-tavern design buildings could actually be taverns like this. All right, but we don't want to stay in that one. Let's head over to... all right, it's a little bit southwest here. I'm also hearing rats. Or bats. Yeah, some bats. All right, this is a nice little comfy place here. Man, that means the ghosts are going to spawn at night here. That makes it even harder to try and get our thieving skills up. What do we want to do about that? Let's at least just rest until we're healed up, and then we'll figure that out. Yeah, I guess it's not... Oh, it's kind of early now. It is kind of morning. All right, there's still some bats here. And there's still a ghost here. Oh, man, that's terrible. That's like the high-level ghost, too. That thing's going to kill us if we get hit by that, like, twice, probably. All right, this town is haunted. We're going to another one. Can we defeat the ghost? I think maybe if I can hit my explosive arrows, I could try it. Oh, this is a cool little... Like, what is this section? I have not seen this either. We could try it real quick. If it doesn't work out, then we'll run. All right, we got the normal arrows prepared. Let's go with explosive. Wow. All right, that was a really good call, Yuval. That thing got one shot. All right, maybe these explosive arrows are kind of busted, actually. They were really expensive, so it kind of makes sense. But that was crazy. What's really crazy about it is it bypasses explosive arrows in town again. Yeah, we almost... we didn't learn our lesson last time. Let me, there we go, okay. Yeah, we almost didn't learn our lesson. We should be okay, though. That's crazy, though. What's really interesting about that is it actually bypasses the, iron, or I guess even steel. That ghost can't even be hurt by steel. But the explosive arrow bypasses that, issue, which is crazy. You cured the town? Yeah. I went from thief to hero. No way. Okay. Wow, I saw this guy approaching. I thought... Okay. I'm in, like, PTSD from the last region. Alright, this guy's happy with me. He doesn't care. It's so funny. You're a thief, but also hero interested character? Yeah, we're making it work here. I have to earn the trust so I can secretly steal from them at night and not be suspected. I would like to risk some pickpocketing, but yeah. Not in an area like this. We need to find like a some kind of pre-rendered NPC. The pre-rendered NPCs, if you steal from them, they won't like call the guards. But walking NPCs like this, if I try to pickpocket this guy and I fail, then I'll get the guards on me. And the small towns usually don't have too many pre-rendered NPCs. The big cities have a ton of them though, right? So maybe we want to try and find one like that. Man, I'm getting hit with all the bots or something here. Sheesh. It's a good thing I have my chat open in like the, you know, bottom on my second screen, I can easily ban people, but sheesh. Maybe there's a way I could do like an auto mod thing to make it more aggressive. But I think for now, I'm actually going to turn off my chat overlay while this crap's happening. I thought if I ban them, it would get rid of the chat overlay message on it, but it doesn't. But yeah, with no chat overlay, at least I can delete it without it sticking on my screen like that. Maybe later we'll get back to putting the chat overlay on. But yeah, without any pre-rendered NPCs here, I don't know if we can really risk pickpocketing. But what we still could do is just sleep until the night and then just practice like lockpicking for now. Now that we also killed the ghost, we should be okay. I can't believe how good Explosive Arrow is though against that. That's insane. We should still have some time left actually on this. Actually, we'll just buy one more room. Oh wait, we have how many? We have 20 hours. Okay, never mind. We don't have to buy any. We'll go like 15 hours or so, I guess. Okay, good. That's really nice. We rolled a low 4 here, but at least we leveled up. This is good. See, our health is already at 111 right now, so it's getting really good. We'll probably have like 130 something in the next level up, or around there. In which case, we'll be able to start tanking some of the guards without worrying so much. Because we have the rebalancing skills for Skullduggery, pretty much every single attribute could be useful here. Like agility is useful, but so is intellect, so is speed, so is luck. Let's get our luck up a little bit higher here, I think. Or should we just do agility? Maybe we should just do agility. Let's do 2 agility, 2 luck, actually. Yeah, the moon is now so bright like this. Isn't it risky to nerf luck? Yeah, it can be, I would say, especially for this specific playthrough, honestly. Because we don't really care too much about like the combat effectiveness of luck, but luck does help with basically every important skill here. I think luck helps with stealth. It definitely helps with pickpocket. It definitely helps with streetwise. Yeah, so it's kind of relevant to all the thieving skills to some degree. I don't know how much that is though. It's not as much as agility. And I think speed is more useful for pickpocketing than luck is, but it still doesn't matter. What's up, Mr. Music Guy? Is this a game with the biggest map? Yes, that's this game, Daggerfall. Yeah, you can kind of get a sense of it here. We're just in this one region, and we're over here on this border town here. And this is just how many farms, farmsteads, cities, cemeteries, some temple towns and inns over here. But even on this map, a lot of the dungeons I don't have revealed. There's probably like 50-something dungeons in just this region. But yeah, this map's absolutely gigantic. We use mods like travel options here to help us fast travel. in accelerated real time. So we can follow these paths and then press this, and we can follow basic roads, and we can choose how fast we want to go. But you don't have to actually follow roads. You can go wherever you want. I think it's worth half of agility, if I remember correctly. Gotcha. Okay, that's pretty good to know, actually. My luck is pretty low, though. What Streetwise gives me? Streetwise is useful for pacifying enemies that belong to the Streetwise language skill. Or language group, I guess I should say. And that's usually things like rogues and thieves. Wow, we got so many ghosts over here. We're going to run from them. That's usually stuff like rogues, thieves, bandits, all that kind of stuff. Streetwise also does help you interact with commoners as well in the cities. Yeah, so it's got a couple different functions. I'm trying to do my first Fighters Guild quest, but they want me to kill a giant that I just got out of the tutorial dungeon. Oh man, that sounds, yeah. Do they have you go to a... Did they have you go to a dungeon for that? Or is it a giant that's outside in the town or something? Or maybe one of the buildings? Man, we're getting so many spawns inside these towns and stuff. I don't know what to do. It's kind of hard to practice our thieving skills when we're getting hit. We're getting chunked like this. Yeah, if it's too hard for you, I would just come back to it later. The one thing is that most quests are timed in Daggerfall, so you will fail the quest. But Daggerfall is designed with you failing quests in mind, so it's okay to fail quests. You'll get like a -5 or something, or maybe even less, -1 sometimes with that faction, which could be kind of annoying because that might drop you a rank. But it's not too bad, though. It might be better to just kind of go to a dungeon that's close by on one of the towns or cities, and then you can kind of stay by the entrance of the dungeon. Just try to kill some stuff, try to get your skills up, try to build some wealth by getting loot. Don't try to clear the dungeon. Don't go too deep. They're very, very big in Daggerfall. You can just kind of stay near the entrance. And then you go back to town, you sell, shop, rest up, get a couple levels, and then it'll be a lot easier to deal with a giant. At least we know we're not under legal trouble in this region anymore. So it's very nice that we got these borders to go to. Since we got caught trying to steal a horse in this one, we actually can just bounce to this. If we also fail our thieving stuff, we can bounce here. If we fail again, we'll go north. Like, this is actually a very lucky kind of situation regionally here for us. Does refusing quest a faction reduce reputation with the faction? Yes, it can, Yuval. I think there might be a mod that changes that. I'm not sure. But yeah, it does. I think you only get a -1 for refusing. But I could be wrong about that. It's possible you don't. I can't remember off the top of my head, actually. But my gut instinct says you do get like a -1 for refusing, but I could be wrong about that. I have every Elder Scrolls game except 5 Special Edition. Nice. Man, I wish I had a physical copy of Daggerfall. That would be sick. It's so expensive now, though. It is nice, though, that at least online, both Elder Scrolls Arena and Daggerfall are completely free. So anyone that wants to try it out, you know, you can always just get it for free. And then also grab Unity, of course, so you can do some cool mod stuff. Let's see if we got poisoned or diseased. I don't think so. Okay, I think we're good there. Let's just rest a little bit here. Oh, it's a bear. Okay, that's fine. I honestly think one shot with our explosive arrow is going to be enough here. Yeah, rest in peace. Sheesh. That's crazy. Hey, a bear pelt's actually pretty good to sell as well. We'll put that in our wagon for now. Ghost Police is after you? Yeah. Yeah, what is up with that? I think it's because I'm kind of close to... I mean, we're not that close to Daggerfall. But I guess a decent amount of the High Rock regions will have the ghost come out because of Lysandus's tomb or something, right? I forgot the exact story reasons, but yeah. That's what I did, and I modded it with some recommended mods. Going from playing AAA titles to this has been so cool. Yeah, absolutely. Super different, right? But very nice. I mean, there's a reason people kind of keep coming back to Daggerfall. It just has a very, very nice aesthetic, really fun sandbox role-playing options for you. Like, even the playthrough I'm doing right now, it's just my own goals, you know? I'm completely ignoring the main quest, and what I'm actually doing is I have a steal list here. I can pull it up real quick. This is the goal of the playthrough. It's to get one copy of all these, and then we're going to display it in our player home with the decorator mod. On the bottom right, Berenzia's crown is the final thing. We're going to go into Wayrest Castle and steal her crown. This is actually a quest mod pack, though, for this last one. Everything else, I'm just kind of building emergent storytelling by trying to figure out how to do it by myself. And we made our character very weak in combat, so we really got to focus on the thieving to build our wealth, especially with our phobia to humanoid. When Open Arena evolves in the years, you give it a try. Hey, what's up, Fergus? Yeah, absolutely. I definitely plan to give Arena a try, and I've actually played a little bit of it. I really liked Arena. It's different than Daggerfall, and I know some people kind of feel like Daggerfall might have replaced it, but I don't really feel like it's replaced. I just feel like it's different. And I liked it, actually. I liked some stuff about it. The combat was pretty cool. I like the cleave effect that's missing from Daggerfall. But yeah, I also like how it has some interesting spells that have a lot of dungeon utility. Like you can break walls and build your own paths. I think that's very cool too in Arena. So I do plan to go back to that. I know they're working on sort of the Daggerfall Unity equivalent of Arena. I know they're working on that. I saw the update just recently. I think you can actually try it out if you want, but you can only play a little bit of it right now, maybe. But yeah, very cool. I think Arena's good. And the aesthetic is also very good. I think the art style aged very well, in my opinion. AAA are impressive and bombastic. Daggerfall is pleasant and cozy. Yeah. Yeah, very cozy, very heavy focus on sandbox role-playing, setting up your own playthrough goals, which I love. I love that you're free to ignore the main quest basically immediately in this game and do what you want to do. And I like how a lot of this advantage and disadvantage system is very well suited to building a class fantasy and capturing that class fantasy well. Something I'd love to see more games do. I need to try Daggerfall Unity on my CRT monitor. Yeah, for sure, Fergus. And actually, you can grab, or not grab, but you can look at some of these effects here and choose retro mode, which allows you to do a lot of cool post-process effects like posterization. It's actually very cool. There's also an option for posterization minus the sky, so you can kind of keep your very pretty dynamic skyboxes as well. But yeah, you can kind of see what this looks like here. Gives you kind of an old school. If I had a CRT, it might look even better for me here, but sub to follow the Daggerfall goal. Hey, thanks, Mr. Music. I appreciate that. Yeah, this will be cool. I think this playthrough we're going to stick specifically for the live streams. I'm also doing a playthrough that's going to have a lot more like production value. That's just for the channel itself, not for the live streams. But I think this thief one's kind of cool for a live stream option here. Something different than dungeon crawling all the time. Yeah, it is very cool. I'm actually so used to the original mode because this is kind of how I started Daggerfall Unity. I played hundreds of hours with this aesthetic, so I'm just very, very used to it personally. But they both look great. Damn, last time I played Daggerfall, it did not look like this. What's up, Opala? How's it going? Yeah, man, it does look a lot different, huh? I kind of kept most of the aesthetic pretty similar. Oh, we got a bandit camp here? All right, let's be careful here. This could be a good opportunity to try and get our stealth up a little bit. I don't think we'll get close enough to pickpocket. And we might have to use some of our important explosive hour resource here. All right, he already caught us. But she did not catch us, or he didn't, I should say. Oh man, one shot. All right. She did not hear us yet, though. We can go back into stealth. Wait, let me catch up on chat real quick, though. Yeah, I kept the aesthetic pretty similar to original Daggerfall, but Unity has made it look a lot better. And I'm also using a mod called Vanilla Enhanced. It kind of keeps the original art style, but still adds a decent amount of improvements as well. But yeah, I think Daggerfall looks really, really good right now with Unity, even just the base Unity. What are your favorite mods? What's up, Stubbs? My favorite mods, that's a good question. I like, and I always recommend, travel options is, I think, one of the most important mods. I kind of see it as like the pillar of the modding scene. So many mods rely on it, or if they don't directly rely on it, they're designed with travel options in mind. Travel options lets you move in real-time accelerated speeds so that you can explore the open world without, you know, having to spend hours of your real life. You get that accelerated movement while still seeing the open world for what it is. I also really love World of Daggerfall Project. As you can see here, this is added from World of Daggerfall Project. It's a random bandit camp outside of the civilization that these outlaws have hidden. And you can find these kind of randomly throughout the world while you're traveling. World of Daggerfall Project in general just adds a lot of really cool stuff, including different topography that's unique for each region. All right, we might be able to actually stab this guy. We're probably getting so much stealth upgrade here. Oh, he caught us, okay. But yeah, World of Daggerfall Project adds a lot of cool points of interest, but it doesn't add too many. So it's not like an Ubisoft game where every 5 steps you get some kind of interactive thing. You can still travel 5 or 10 minutes in any direction in Daggerfall and see nothing. Just the isolated wilderness that builds that amazing travel atmosphere that Daggerfall has. But it still adds some cool points of interest, so you can still discover stuff, which is important. The only problem with vanilla Daggerfall is that there's absolutely nothing really in the world besides a few things. And because of that, it's really not that fun to travel in. World of Daggerfall Project like fixes that, and then you combine that with travel options, and it's perfect. Our archery skill is a minor skill. It's very, very weak. So we'll just, at least it's getting up some practice here. We're getting the skill up. Oh, I should have dodged that. Oh man, this is pathetic. All right, we finally got one, okay. That'll be some good skill up at least. I also love dynamic skies. It's what makes the sky so beautiful in this game for my copy right now. Fergs, when I want to play classic mode on modern PC, I select lowest resolution. Yeah, that's a good idea too. I really like the low color, low resolution, dithering filters. Interesting. I should probably try that. I haven't fooled around too much with the Unity effects for like retro mode or anything. I just started doing it like last week, actually. I'll try playing like that, but by using my CR monitor. Yeah, it's a sick thing. I wish I had one myself. I think what makes Daggerfall Unity so great is its ability to make the game look spectacular without distorting the original pixels. Yeah. I mean, the original art style is just so good that even slight improvements to it, it makes it look really, really nice. You don't have to do too much. That's what I like about it, you know? It only needs, like, just slight adjustments. And the soundtrack for the game is good. It's basically some cheesy church-style synthesizer. Probably roll in, which makes me like MIDI even more. It really adds to the atmosphere. You know, yeah, absolutely. No, the soundtrack is so nice in Daggerfall. I feel like it's the most underrated Elder Scrolls soundtrack. But I do think Morrowind kind of set the bar with the type of music that people love for Elder Scrolls. And a lot of the Morrowind themes show up even in Skyrim all those years later because they're just so iconic. So I do get that. But yeah, Daggerfall has very good music as well. Very heavy nighttime atmosphere in Daggerfall when traveling. Almost like isolating. And yeah, you really feel like you're alone in the wilderness when you travel, which I don't think any RPG really captures that well, in my opinion, besides Daggerfall. How difficult is it to set up Daggerfall in 2026 while keeping the retro aesthetics, non-3D assets with World of Daggerfall Project, the sky, and interface? Oh, it's actually very easy, honestly. One of the really cool things about Unity is that it's got to be one of the simplest games to mod, honestly. And in general, it's also very good at making multiple mods compatible with each other. It's very rare in Daggerfall Unity that you'll have bugs. And as long as you're reading the mod page itself and just making sure you're not choosing any of the very common incompatible mod options, you don't really have to worry too much about screwing up the game or anything. It's very well optimized. the actual base game itself rarely will, or almost never. I mean, for me, Daggerfall Unity has never crashed because of Unity itself. I've only had crashes because I'm fooling around with so many mods. And I kind of, I'll add mods and remove them from the same playthrough, which can always sometimes mess you up. But I tend to do that because I do a lot of mod showcase videos, so I'll be testing a lot of mods sometimes. But yeah, it's very easy to set up, and you basically will download the file, place it in your mod folder, and you're good to go. It's actually that simple, which is crazy, but yeah. At least we get most of our arrows back here. That's kind of nice. And a couple loot piles here. We'll see what these bandits had. But yeah, I do recommend, even if it's your first playthrough of Daggerfall, I recommend picking up a few mods. At least Travel Options, at least World of Daggerfall Project. Dynamic Skies is really pretty as well. Actually, we should probably equip this now. Yeah. And of course, you can do your own little browsing and see what else you like. You know, for you, you might like a mod like Lives of Raiders, which gives you large-scale battles at farms. Or you might like a mod that reduces the size of dungeons. You know, it just kind of depends on the person's preferences and stuff. World of Daggerfall Project really makes the open world of Daggerfall more than just a gimmick to sell the scale of the landscape. Yeah, absolutely. I just feel like it's almost required at this point to really get the full vision of what the game probably wanted to go for back then. But probably couldn't because of restrictions. But the mod who restored the original Daggerfall soundtrack and high-quality orchestra is equally good too. Oh, interesting. Yeah, someone else just mentioned this to me the other day, the orchestra mod. I gotta look into that as well. I think there's another mod that also changes the soundtrack to use the original, I don't know, I guess files, which were different for some reason. I forgot what the commenter was telling me exactly. I just finished Ultima Underworld. When I found it, I remembered my dad used to play it. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've never played the Ultima games. I always hear amazing things about them, of course, but I have played a lot of older retro RPGs, but I somehow missed the entire Ultima series, actually. Which is kind of a shame. I should go back to it and give it a try someday. Travel Options World of Daggerfall changes so much of the game if you think about it. Before, it was really only a city dungeon game in an empty world as a glue you have to fast travel through. Yeah, exactly. The most powerful part about Travel Options is actually letting you experience this massive world. And the topography changes of World of Daggerfall Project makes every region feel unique. There's jungle regions, there's mountainous ones, there's arid desert ones, there's more temperate climates that you'd expect in a classic fantasy. You can find orc fortresses, bandit camps, shrines, ports that are connected to the sea. There's all sorts of stuff that are really, really awesome. There's like roadside defensive structures and fortresses. There's full-blown actual forts that can start sieges. Yeah, just a ton of awesome stuff. I think it looks better if you just add a few quality of life features without changing the original graphics too much. If you want to experiment with the graphics mod, just install Dynamic Skies and some lighting mod. And some mods to make view bobbing and movement is equally welcome. Yeah, that stuff's really cool. There's a lot of good options there. I know the Dream mod is very, very popular. For me, though, I stick with Vanilla Enhanced. That's my personal favorite. But I think Dream looks very good, too, in my opinion. And there's a lot of cool visual mods that are supported with Dream. So I think you can't go wrong either way. You'll be a good option for you. Oh, wow. I was not expecting that. That Will-O-Wisp just headbutted me. Man, I hate the Will-O-Wisps. I never fight these guys. Like, look how high they fly up and stuff, and then they charge down at you and they go back up. I'm the worst at fighting those guys. And maybe 90s Dream is just a second take. I've heard it stays very true to the original style. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more of a departure than Vanilla Enhanced is, but I think that's still very cool. It's just a taste thing. I think Dream will really help you grab that, like, 80s dark fantasy aesthetic better. There's, like, more saturated lights, I feel like. Just a darker atmosphere in general than the original game. But yeah, it's a little bit less pixely. It's supported by a lot more visual mods, so you'll have more options if you go Dream. But yeah, I like to stick to vanilla look like this. I like it still. I think it aged beautifully, and I think Unity does just enough touching up on it where, yeah, it just looks great still. Let's try to get a quick little heal in while we can. I see the nymphs. I think my no nudity mod's not working on them either. Asher's Guide to Vampirism is finally done. I just need to get the video together and finish the Nexus page. It'll be up tonight or tomorrow. Awesome, Vox. I love to hear that. I plan to probably do a live stream covering it, your new mod. Yeah, for me personally, I'm a bit more excited about vampire stuff than necromancy. So that'll be cool for me to see. Where do we want to go here real quick? Let's try to get to the next city. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it came out. Yeah, we'll probably do a live stream for that. I feel like your mods, Vox, are so in-depth that they're better supported by like a live stream showcase than me doing just a short video. I feel like I would miss too much stuff in my video. But yeah, excited to try that out for sure. You running this through Steam? Yeah, I am actually. But a lot of people wouldn't recommend you do that just because you can download the game directly from the Unity site. And you can also use the GOG version, which no longer has the really bad GOG cut. So it doesn't come pre-installed with all those mods that it used to. The GOG version used to be really bad. I heard they changed that though. I picked it up on Steam when I first played this like 2 years ago, so it's been a while. I just kind of kept that system going, but I think most people would recommend just to grab it from the actual Unity site, which you can do now, I heard. But yeah, Steam is also a fine option. It's free anywhere you find it. Free on GOG, free on Steam, free with Unity. Either way, though, you want to install Unity afterwards. So, yeah, either way, you'll grab the Unity version. To play the original Daggerfall version is a much, much different game. It doesn't have modern movement options. You can't even move with the WASD keys and stuff, so it's much, much different. On top of having very little mod support and crashing a lot. It doesn't have any of the stability stuff that Unity brought to it. I used to play Daggerfall Unity religiously during early access and just around the time 1.0 came out, but even with so many mods, the world was still empty and the balance was off, so I stopped. That's crazy that you played back then. Yeah, I was a bit... Oh, this Unity. Oh, okay, when Unity first came out. Gotcha. Yeah, I guess when Unity first came out, that was really the birth of like a deeper mod scene that would start to build on the foundation of their other mods. That's what's so cool about modding scenes, you know? Once you get a couple foundational mods, everyone can start building off of it, and then more talent can build in different directions, use prior modded systems to create really cool and dynamic stuff, and that's what we got with Unity now. It's just a foundation constantly being built upon. Very talented modding scene that's very active still. Yeah, I was not there for the start of Unity. I don't think... I guess my first time playing Daggerfall, even though I didn't get into it right away, but it was like 2024. So I haven't been playing it that long. But yeah, Unity was the remake that everyone needed. It was a total restart of Daggerfall and brought it into this new modern modding age like this. But yeah, I can imagine in the very beginning there wouldn't be much modding stuff yet. Yeah, everyone had to kind of figure out the Unity system, I guess. All right, let's see how close we are. We definitely want to get to one of these. All right, we're not far away at all. Okay. I probably won't need to rest then, which is good. We'll go to times 15. It'll be a little bit laggier, but it should be okay. I should give a quick save in case we crash, though. My crashing, though, is because of my absolutely insane modding history on all my files. Once I do the new Druid playthrough, I'll do like a restart on my modding, on my mod list, I mean, so that it's not too crazy right now. Because I did way too many mod showcase videos where I kept putting mods in, then taking them out, and it really messed up a lot of my files. I think you disabled nudity from the main menu. Yeah, you can. That nudity, though, is for the player nudity. But there's a couple enemies in this game, like the nymphs and the lamias, and they are completely nude as well. And just for like YouTube and stuff, I like to have that not be naked just for the, you know, all the YouTube stuff. But there's a mod that covers them up, but it just doesn't always work. Sometimes they load in without it for some, I don't know why, but yeah, I'd say it works like 50% of the time. So I could kind of tell from far away when they're clothed or not. I know you can remove paper doll nudity, but wasn't sure about nudity with NPCs and monsters. Yeah, you're going to need a mod for that, unfortunately. The NPCs, yeah, they'll give you like a jump scare with their nudity in taverns sometimes. I think Daggerfall was before the ESRB, right? So just a different time. Oh, hey, we're here. Cool. This is good. This is another place where we don't have to worry about any legal issues right now. So we can wait till nighttime and start building up our thieving skills. We'll start with lockpicking. And I think we will try to get some pickpocketing up as well. If we steal, we're trying to break into enough stuff to attract the attention of the Thieves Guild. And then once we join the Thieves Guild, it'll be easier for us to really start breaking in and doing what we want to do. But we got to attract the Thieves Guild attention first. And we could do that by successfully pickpocketing or successfully breaking in and stealing stuff from some shops here. This is kind of a weird city. No central town here, or town square, I should say, with a bunch of shopping. This is not the best town for this, but let's head over to a tavern first. Anyway, we got to rest. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll level up anyway. By the way, the Thieves Guild overhaul mod I got actually redesigned the exterior also. So I can recognize just walking past here that this is the Thieves Guild for this city. And yeah, it's locked, of course. But yeah, if I commit enough crimes without getting caught, the Thieves Guild will be, they'll send me a letter and I'll be able to join them. I'm just real quick going to check my OBS real quick. Just want to make sure my Twitch restream is also working okay. Yeah, by the way, guys, if you also have accounts on Twitch or just prefer to watch on Twitch, you can follow me at Shpan_ on Twitch as well. I usually do dual streaming. I've been trying to do it every time now. So it should be all good there. And I got both chats up so I can see both chats. But yeah, YouTube's fine as well, of course. Whatever you prefer. But yeah, I usually can recognize the Thieves Guild like that. Let's see what this tavern looks like here. I'm only going to rest a little bit because we want to wait till nighttime. So what time we got here now? Okay, not too late yet. Let's go for like 6 hours maybe. Good, YouTube's killing me with these ads. Yeah. Yeah, feel free to... Yeah, you could follow me there as well on Twitch then. On live streams, are they... how does it work? Is it like skippable, or do you have to sit there for 3 minutes or something? I know for videos, of course, it's usually the pre-rolls that you can skip, and then you'll get like the mid-roll ones. But I don't actually watch too many YouTube live streams. But of course, all my followers are from YouTube. Yo, what's up, Bang? I might have missed your message a little bit earlier, sorry. When I use my standing desk like this, I have to find a way to get my Twitch chat more easily readable here. Let me bring this down. Hope you're doing well, Bang. We're doing episode 1 of the Thief playthrough here. All right, now my Twitch chat's a little bit lower. My standing desk kind of cuts off my vision on my second monitor. They mute your stream and play an ad next to it. Gotcha. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of that's not great. Yeah, I don't know if it's any better on Twitch or not, or how that stuff works, but yeah. All right. All right, we got the cover of rain here. Wow, what a nice night here. I love the way rain looks falling when you look up too in Daggerfall. And I don't see any ghosts coming. have you gotten into the Thieves Guild yet? No, not yet. We're trying to attract their attention. I've broken into a few houses. We got some thunder today as well. All right, nice. But I accidentally got myself caught in my first region. So we were actually in Cambria to start out the playthrough, but I had to already flee to Dwinnen. But this area is like, just by chance, is actually very nice because there's all these different regions that border each other. So if I keep getting caught and I become a criminal in these areas, I could at least flee to a couple other options here. But we're trying to, we're trying to play it a little slow here. I got the Skullduggery mod, which does a whole rebalancing of thieving skills and stealth mechanics. So we want to just slowly build up our thief stuff. We're going with lockpicking first. We'll get some experience with this. And we might try to steal like one thing from a general goods store. The way it works now is whenever I break and enter, there is constant stealth checks. That's how Skullduggery rebalanced it. So it makes it very fun when you're role-playing a thief because every single night you have to kind of go back out. You're very slowly trying to build up your expertise and stuff like that. And then you're slowly building your stolen wealth, which is cool. But yeah, if I fail the check on the lockpick, then I get this minigame. Otherwise, there's no minigame. And I'm super bad at this. But as my lockpicking skill gets better, this minigame will get slower and easier to do. So it's kind of cool. Oh yeah, right now it's like super hard for me, which is kind of hilarious. You guys get to watch me struggle here. Hey, we got it. Nice. But I don't hang around here. We're just practicing, getting the skill up. And yeah, we'll fail a lot, so we'll be getting this minigame a lot early on. But as our lockpicking gets better... Oh, run. Okay. As our lockpicking gets better, we won't have to play the minigame as often. And by the way, the pre-rendered flats in buildings in Daggerfall, they don't disappear. So you just got to kind of use your imagination when you're breaking into houses, at least. Because, yeah, they'll be standing right there. Like that guy just was. Do we want to risk breaking into a shop and just taking one item? That's what got me last time. Then I had to flee the whole place. I like the lockpick succeed sound effects in the mod. Really satisfying. Yeah, it does sound good, right? I don't know if that actually the mod changed the sound effect or if they're just using the vanilla one. I actually can't remember. It's kind of similar, so it might be the vanilla sound. All right, we got a pawn shop here. Pawn shops are usually pretty good. I don't want to make the same mistake as last time. Our pickpocket's only 36. Don't listen to me, but yes, you should. You know what? We're doing it. What's the worst that could happen? Oh man, we got a bad message here. You hear footsteps of someone awake in the house. The modding scene for this game amazes me. Turned half-baked game from 30 plus years ago into something that is stable and visually pleasing. What's up, Mr. Samuel Adam? Yeah, I mean, the modding seems absolutely insane for Daggerfall. It just keeps getting better too. I feel like I can't take a break from the mod showcase videos because it's every month there's just some crazy new thing, you know? The Necromancy mod that just dropped is absolutely insane if you guys haven't tried it out. It's got so much cool, like, utility necromancer stuff. You can perform your own seances. You could basically raise any type of undead you'd imagine in this game. And it's got even improved AI. The new Dragon Rider mod's absolutely insane. You can live out your dragon riding dreams in Daggerfall. But yeah, you can see in this building here, the closest shelf is all the way past this door and inside. Oh no, I didn't realize. All right, I screwed up. I thought if I had the message up there, it wasn't doing real time. We actually lasted a very long time in there for how long I was standing there with the stealth checks, which is kind of nice. That means the skill got up pretty good. The thing is, we can... how much gold do I have on me here? I got 1,675. We could try to bribe the guard, and that'll check our streetwise skill, which is very low, with a low chance. Our personality is decent, though, so that'll help a little bit. It just works now, unlike official Bethesda. Yeah. Yeah, Unity is, even if you didn't want to mod anything in this game, Unity just worked out basically every single Daggerfall bug. The game is so stable. It's it's insane, actually. And I've never had like a Unity crash. I've only had crashes from my mod interactions and stuff like that, which even then is very rare. Unity is actually very good at stabilizing like a very big mod list as well. It's just crazy how well made this port is. Well, I guess you can call it a remake, actually. Getting trapped at night is also not great in cities because they close the gates. So we're going to have to scale one of these walls to escape. Oh, that's such a shame. And we got a wild mountain lion on us. That's a great looking model as well, by the way. That's from Daggerfall Enemy Expansion mod. Very cool. I don't think that's an arena enemy. It looks a little too clean to have been taken from arena. But yeah, let's try to outrun these guys. How the heck did it get into the city? That's a great question. I actually, I have a mod called Warm Ashes, and I think that might be the culprit here. Whoa, okay, that we almost died there. But yeah, for some reason recently I'm having spawns in cities when I shouldn't. So I gotta check that out. This is the first episode, so I didn't really do any testing to make sure everything was working well. But yeah, for episode 2, I'll get all that stuff figured out. I think it's just a load order issue, maybe. I love this jumping mod, though. It's so satisfying. I don't think we're going to be able to get these guards off of us, but we can kind of still stealth around and potentially break into some homes, I think, before we try to escape. Where's the door to this guy's place? All right, let's stay in stealth here. I don't see any guards. We might have lost them. Is it unsafe to uninstall mods with playthrough, or will corrupt your save down the line? It kind of depends, Mr. Samuel, on kind of depends on the mods that you get rid of. It is generally safe in Unity, Daggerfall Unity, but not always. It does depend on some of them. I sometimes have caused issues, but sometimes the issue isn't anything crazy. The issue might just be like, even actually I could show you an example, kind of funny now that you mention it, but in my wagon here, you see there's this invisible thing here called gray dye. I deactivated my paints and dyes mod, and the item is here, and I actually can't deselect it. So it's kind of just stuck in my wagon, but it's not doing anything harmful. But stuff like that can happen sometimes if you're not careful. If you're doing it too much, and depending on which mods you're doing it with, it can cause some problems, though, for sure. But don't you miss falling through the dungeon floor from the original version? Yeah, right? Yeah, actually, speaking of that, that is, with travel options, that can still sometimes happen, funny enough. But there's a great mod called Falling Down by Cara Demono, and that mod will immediately catch you if you ever fall through the floor and place you right back up. It's super fast. It's really uninvasive. It just picks your character up, places them back on the ground. But that's not really a Unity issue. That's a travel options mod issue. It's kind of a classic. It's one of the few bugs from travel options that's just kind of stuck around that I think they don't know how to fix that one. It's rare, but yeah, the Falling Down mod fixed that. But yeah, I can't even imagine the amount of original bugs that were in the game. I mean, I know Daggerfall is like almost, in some ways, the original is kind of unplayable for a lot of people. Like, you can really brick files and have bugs that you can't fix. which is insane. But yeah, Unity came along and kind of fixed all that, which is amazing. There should be special dungeons built for this parkour mod, but it will make the game more like a platformer. That would be really sick, though. There are some custom dungeons that make use of some more verticality, some more ledge jumping. If you download a mod called Dungeons of Daggerfall, there's a decent amount of custom mods, and some of them play off that a very little bit. Not too much, though, honestly. But yeah, with this Jack Be Nimble mod that lets me do these jumps, that would be very, very cool. I've seen stuff like that in other games. Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of games where if you remove mods or add some mid-game, you got to worry about all sorts of save file corruptions. In general, with Daggerfall Unity, you're not going to brick your file, but you can cause some weird behaviors. I did some things where I made the player ships no longer register as owned by me, so there's some stuff that can happen. That could be a little annoying, but never a huge deal. Oh, this is a long one. I think this one requires like 5. Once my lock picking gets higher, we won't have to worry about these mini games being so difficult. Oh, this is crazy. All right, we got it. It's kind of nice that we could actually outrun the guards and escape, though. That's something a little different with Skullduggery. It's kind of hard to do that in vanilla. They kind of just like endlessly keep grabbing you. I'm going to go for a shop here. Let's make our way towards this one. Hopefully we can... I'm still in stealth mode here, so we should be able to just... We'll lockpick what we can on the way, and then hopefully try and steal something from some of these shops, because we really got to get our pickpocket skill up a little bit more. We have pickpocket as a primary skill, so it's really important for our level up calculations. Oh, snap, it's Rock Band? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, actually the way it works, if I succeed on my lockpicking skill, I don't have to play the minigame. It's only if I fail my lockpicking check that I play the minigame, which I kind of like. I don't like doing this every time, and as we get our skill up, it'll be easier for us to succeed. Oh, that was close. But this minigame also gets easier as your skill improves, so it's kind of interesting in that way. Some of these are so fast, though. Sheesh. Okay. All right. If we see any guards, we'll know we gotta jump the wall here. All right. This is a weapon shop. Our ability to successfully steal something is also based on the item's weight. So this might not be the best option. Also, we got you hear footsteps of someone awake in the house. All right, let's go real quick for this. All right, what's the lightest item we could take here? This leather helmet that looks like a circlet, 0.75 kilograms. That might be the weakest. All right, we got it. Go, 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 go. All right, not too bad. Oh, wait. Okay, those guards were from before. They were not the same ones. Have you played Kingdom Come Deliverance? No, but I really want to. I have a feeling I'm going to really like that game. Even though it's not like a sandbox, really, in the same way that Daggerfall is. And even though the role-playing is a little bit more narrow, since it's more of a focused on a narrative, I feel like, with the main character and all that stuff, I still think it's going to be really great for me. Because I don't just like sandbox RPGs, I also enjoy all sorts of like more narrative-heavy RPGs and CRPGs that are designed like that. So, yeah, I feel like I'm going to like Kingdom Come Deliverance. I was wondering if I should... I think the story goes on. You're really meant to play 1 and then 2, right? Because it's kind of a continuing narrative, I think. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's how it is. Hearing a guard's halt is like finding a cockroach in the bathroom. Actually, it's like a bit of a jump scare when you got your headphones in, you're not expecting it. Yes? Yeah, okay, yeah, I thought so. Which is okay for me, actually. It's kind of cool that the story continues like that. All right, we got a lot of skill up here. We kind of want to rest and get out now. Our stamina's getting low. I wonder if I can risk staying at a tavern, or if I should just get out of here while I safely can. I don't see the guards. We're still stealthing a little bit here. Let's see if they spawn in here. All right, no one's calling the guards on me yet. I think I could actually, I could put my hood up. That should help a little bit. Let's put our hood up. We got 24 hours still. Okay, let's go for it. Let's see. This is going to be close. I don't know. All right, not too bad. And we actually got a little bit on pickpocket, not much. Lockpicking's up a lot more now. Running and jumping's also good. These are minor skills, so it doesn't matter too much. Whatever's the highest is what matters towards our leveling up. But we got to work on the pickpocket. Have you tried any mods which make the soundtrack better? Daggerfall MIDI sometimes gets repetitive. I've actually not really looked too much at music mods. There is there's a couple that do different I guess remixes of the main themes. So different instrumentation, I guess is how I could put it. There's one that turns it into like orchestral. There's one that uses something else that someone was mentioning to me, which was actually like the original way it was written, because this like MIDI soundtrack's actually not the original design for it, apparently. So I know of those two mods. I don't know of too many other mods that add music, though. I'm sure there's mods that add their own songs, right? All right, let's get out of here before someone calls the guards on us. All right, so we should be... We're already level 4, and we're already 33% to 5. That's not bad. Once we get to 5, I'll feel comfortable with our health total to do more risky theft attempts and start, like, pickpocketing people that are walking around, actually. Because then we'll be able to survive... Like, even if we fail a climbing on the wall to escape the city, I think we'll still live. But yeah, it's a little risky to be trying to steal in cities when they lock the gates at night. It's better to go for like an open village where you don't have to worry about scaling walls. But this character's climbing skill is actually decent. Let's test this. Do we fall in our first attempt here? Oh no, that was easy for us. Okay. And then we'll take a little damage if we jump off. That's good to know as well. Though, actually, with this Jack Be Nimble mod, there's a chance to do like a landing roll, which will reduce damage or maybe even completely remove it. I'm not sure. All right, let's find like a little town here now. Oh, the guards are finally coming. I'm also lagging a little bit. Maybe this is a mountainous region, or it might be the rain. I can't wait to go through the mod list and start taking out some stuff I don't need anymore. Clean up the performance a bit. Is there a certain soundtrack mod you like, Glenn? Because I really haven't gotten too many suggestions on it, and I haven't tried any of them myself. I only know about the ones that remix into different instrumentation. The skies look awesome like this. It's like grayish rain here. Let's go down to ×10 here. If we notice any kind of farm or something like that, or a bandit camp, that could be good too. I'm running out of explosive arrows, though. That's like our main crutch right now. Man, this guy sees me from all the way over there. They both do, actually. That's crazy. All right. Let's put the explosive arrows on, actually. Oh, that's so awesome for us. We got 2 killed in 1 shot like that. That's sick. Nice. So this character is restricted from any plate or chainmail as well. So we're just sticking to leather armor. The less armor we have on, the better our stealth will actually be, though, which is kind of interesting. This is worn. This is also worn. We don't want that. We got a decent amount of like stuff to sell as well, so I might want to actually go to a shop and not just steal from it and sell some of this stuff, which will also help us because we got mercantile. Actually, we have it as a minor skill, so it's not that important to be trying to get this up. I'm going to try the OPL3 music mod, but it doesn't add any new music. Gotcha. So it's just remixing the actual music. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I've actually surprisingly not gotten tired of Daggerfall's music after the hundreds of hours still. But it could be nice just to mix things up and try that out someday as well. I'd be interested in the orchestral one as well, but I gotta look up how that sounds and stuff. Where can you get more explosive arrows? You can find them at general goods stores or weapon shops as well. I think you're most likely to find it at a weapon shop. They might also be in pawn shops, though pawn shops are kind of rare in Daggerfall. You don't see too many of them. There is a bunch of different arrows, though. It's not. There's explosive, there's fire, there's ice, there's bodkin, which increases the chance to hit, I think. There's also, I think I have one more on me even, which I can't think of the name of. I might not have it, actually. Yeah, there's a couple other ones, though. There's a poison one that like creates a AoE poison gas cloud. It's actually pretty strong as well. Explosive is probably the strongest. But it's actually very expensive, so for me, I'm using it as like a finite resource until we eventually get more gold. This Deja Heart is actually pretty good for selling too. This might be like, yeah, 500 gold, but it'll be reduced with our mercantile skill, but that's still pretty good. All right, let me look at the list one more time here. So for the steel list, I don't think we found anything today, but I saw a holy water and I saw a gold goblet, but I didn't risk taking them. So these will be sitting around some of these cities and towns. With the Kleptomania mod, it's pretty easy to find this stuff and steal anything, so it's not too bad. And some of these we can actually buy from shops if we want to, but no, I guess we won't buy them. We'll steal everything. We gotta steal everything. But we can at least find these in a lot of the alchemist shops or jewelry shops as well. Actually, probably a better chance at the jewelry shops. For these three, for the icon, the gold goblet, and the jeweled silver goblet, we probably gotta break into some castles, which is a little risky. Yeah, and then once the Thieves Guild actually contacts us, we'll get Berenzia's crown as well, which will be really, really cool. I'm excited to see how that quest mod shapes up, because you have to actually break into the Wayrest castle, which even on a normal playthrough, when you just enter it, it's hostile to you, right? So that's gonna be crazy trying to stealth through that. It's also it's a castle, but it's also technically a proper dungeon. So yeah, that's gonna be really intense. But yeah, I think we'll actually stop here for episode 1. Always appreciate you guys hanging out, chilling with me. I've been really enjoying the live stream stuff. Just chatting about Daggerfall and RPGs and all that. And I think this will be cool. We're going to keep the Thief playthrough specifically just for the live streams. It's not the only thing we'll be streaming, though, because we're going to be doing a lot of mod showcase stuff. I like to also show off new mods on live stream. And I know Vox is almost done with his vampire mod, so I think in the next stream we're just going to spend most of it, checking out the new vampire mod, all the details of it. You know, I think this is the first real kind of cool overhaul for vampires in this game. There was a couple others, but they were kind of small additions or small tweaks. This is like a proper overhaul. It's going to have all the social stuff you want for vampires. So I'm excited to try that out. But yeah, thanks again, guys. I always appreciate it. Take care. I'm probably going to be doing some random streams throughout the week. The weekend is really, I set a schedule for usually like 12-ish. But yeah, for the weekdays, it'll probably be random. Yeah, okay. I think, yeah, we'll just keep this for a live stream like this. All right, guys. See you. Peace out.